What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Welcome to RossonARI TV. Before I get started, make sure to click the like button, subscribe, and do all those good things. I appreciate it. All right, let me just say my take here. I don't know how long this post match is going to be, but I'm just going to say my take right away. Today, in my opinion, marks the end of the season. Today is official that the issues that Milan had last year in the midfield were not addressed this summer. And it is official that Fonseca is not Himothy. He's not the guy. Milan is playing with absolutely no intensity, absolutely no personality, and the midfield keeps on being inexistent. Anybody can go through our midfield like a hot knife through butter. Unfortunately, the issues were not addressed, the issues were not fixed, but it looks like they got worse. It looks like they got worse because the personnel in the club keeps going down and down. So it's just getting worse and worse. 4-0. Um, it. I was expecting, actually, if people were listening, I was expecting Milan to win by a big margin today. But I was expecting a performance more so than many goals. I was expecting many goals because I wanted to believe that the team was going to come out with some pride, with some energy, and show a good performance. But instead, I don't even know how we scored 4 goals. It's a complete random anomaly. The fact that we scored 4 goals today against probably the worst team of the league, unfortunately showed me that this season is pretty much done. This season is over. We're not. I don't even know if we can make the top four. Honestly, I don't even know if we can make the top four. I don't believe there's one single soul on this planet that watched this game and thought to himself that if today we were playing against a big team that is properly coached, with a lot of quality players, that today Milan would have beaten a team that was like that, a big team, a properly coached team. Absolutely not. Um, we'll take the 3 points. I don't know how what the worth of these 3 points are. I honestly don't know. But unless things change, it's going to be another season of a lot of disappointing matches. A lot of disappointing matches. A lot of matches that we're going to are not going to go our way, unfortunately. And the writing is on the wall. We saw it last season right away, and right now we see it even more. Um, Someone in the WhatsApp chat said that there's it's exactly the same as last season, but I want to add that the intensity has dropped. Milan is playing with less intensity now. They're playing much more relaxed, almost no energy at all. Um, Leao was maybe the only one that tried to bring the tempo up, but by himself though, not with a team. Just him using his speed because he plays at a high tempo. But that has got nothing to do with the team or the coach. That's just Leao and his quality. His quality is being able to play very fast. And other than that, there was absolutely no shifts of gear. Everything stayed on the first gear. Every time we didn't even press. I mean, I guess maybe there was no need to press, but if we played against a team with a little bit more quality, they would have scored. They would have won today. If we played against a mid-table team today that has a little bit of form, there's zero chance Milan was gonna win today, guys. I hope people see this. Um, yeah, it's going to be a very long season, guys. It's gonna be another. It's this time it's going to be worse than last season because I don't think this season Napoli is going to be gone, right? I don't think Roma is going to. I think this season all the big teams are going to be present. last season Milan benefited from the fact that Roma, Napoli, and Lazio kind of took a dive. This season ain't gonna be the same. This season, who is gonna take the dive? Is it gonna be Milan that's gonna take the dive? I hope not. I hope not. But what I saw tonight, to me, pretty much marks the end of the season. Meaning, we're not going to win any trophies. We're going to struggle to make top four, and I don't even. I'm not even looking forward to see us play against well coached, motivated teams, well coached, well managed, well organized teams. I don't even want to think about those games, and they're coming. We're going to be playing against teams that are very serious, that are very seriously managed, that are very seriously coached, and the players are very organized, very motivated, and these teams are going to be a unit. This is going to be bad. Yeah, it's going to be bad. All right, let me go to chat. Why so? I mean, negativity. Uh, I don't know what. Listen, I had this conversation with someone else earlier. I am not a mindless cheerleader, guys. That's not me. If you want to look for a guy that is a mindless cheerleader and is gonna sing to you, give me an M, give me an I, give me an L, give me an A, give me an N, Milan, we won, yay for guys. That's not me. We've been doing this channel for so many years. How the fuck don't you understand that you're not gonna get that here in this channel? On this channel here, you get the harsh truth. You get the truth in this channel. You don't get flowers, unicorns, rainbows, and puppies, and good feelings. You don't get that shit here. On this channel, you get the truth. And it's just the way it is, you know? I mean, this is the thing, and this is exactly what I predicted, is that we were going to win today, and then all of a sudden you're going to have that set of fans that is going to be like, oh yeah, we won, now everything is good, Furlani is the best, Jerry Cardinale is number one, fuck yeah. Guys, let's be serious. Let's be serious. We're not competing against nobodies. The competition is real. This is why people like me are difficult to ingest if you are a cheerleader fan, because I actually have respect for our competition. It's not respect. It's not respect for the sake of respect. It's just like, I want to know who we're competing against because I want to see if we can compete against them. It's part of the fun. It's part of analyzing. And when you look at our major competition, guys, we're screwed. Come on. This is not about being negative. You want to be happy today? What about in 9 months when the season is over? It's going to be another fucking season of disappointments, another season of Milan going away from where they're supposed to be. Milan is supposed to be an elite team fighting for the Champions League. Instead, we're going in the opposite direction. So why? Who cares about celebrating a game, a Venezia game day 4, when you see the writing is on the wall and you see how things are going to go? Listen, last year, we had 4 victories in a row in Serie A. But the analysts in this channel, not the cheerleaders, the guys that look at the game and analyze it and read it, we told you Milan is going to get its ass kicked in the midfield. And lo and behold, game day 5 comes. We play against a quality team, Inter. They beat us 5-2, season over. Our season ended game day 5 last year. But I want to remind a lot of people that game day 1, 2, 3, and 4, a lot of the people were celebrating the Scudetto because Milan was apparently kicking ass. But in this channel, we were telling you, no, guys, look at how easy it is for these teams to just go through our midfield. This is a disaster waiting to happen. The fault line is going to crack. The dam is going to crack. It's just a matter. And now it's open. It is open season, and they didn't address it. That's what pisses me off the most. They took this summer, and they didn't fix the issues from last summer, from last year. They pretty much just redid the same mercato, buying the same type of players, without fixing the issues. They didn't fix the issue with the coach, and they didn't fix the issue with the midfield. And not only that, they turned AC Milan into a clown show with Ibra and his antics. Well, what the fuck are you talking about? Negativity. Well, why would I be a fan of a team like this? I didn't fall in love with this team. This is not the team that I became a fan of. These guys are fucking spitting on our badge, and you want me to be fucking happy because we beat Venezia 4-0 today? Every new coach needs his time. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God, you guys just listen. Last year, you guys were saying the same thing, right? You were saying the same thing. Why are you being so negative? Why are you being so negative? But at the end of the season, we finished 20 points behind Inter. We only had a few more points than the previous season. We were out of the Scudetto by game day 5. We got kicked out of the Coppa Italia by De Catler. We got kicked out of the Champions League marginally, but we got kicked out of Europa League. So at the end of the season, and then the worst thing is that Inter wins the second star at a derby. And you were telling me months before, why are you being so negative, Roy? Enjoy the moment. Why are you being so negative? Because I saw the writings in the wall. So why should I do the same right? Why should I be positive right now when the writings on the wall are even clearer? My question to you and to everybody here that doesn't want negativity is this. Is how did you feel after the season was over? Because in the beginning of the season, you guys were celebrating last year that Milan was going to win the Scudetto because we secured 12 points in a row. But when the season was over, how did you feel? Were you positive? My guy's predicting the future. It's being able to read what, if you know what you see, if you read what you see, you know what it tells you. This is not about predicting the future. This is about understanding the game, understanding football, understanding how clubs are run, understanding what proper football looks like. What do you think this team is going to challenge for the Champions League? Do you think this team is going to challenge for the Scudetto? Oh, how? Why? By giving Fonseca time? What is time going to do to Fonseca? What has time done for Fonseca these past fucking 12, 20, I don't know how, 15 years he's been coaching? What has time done for him? What are you talking about time? If the team is broken, the team is already broken. Either you fix it in the summer or it stays broken. They didn't fix it in the summer. The team is broken and it'll stay broken. Maybe they can fix it in the winter, in the market in the winter, but they probably won't. They probably won't do that either. Listen, and listen, I don't know how we're going to perform against Liverpool and Inter. I don't know. I'm not even talking about right now. What I'm seeing now is telling me what we will see at the end of the season. What you're seeing now is what you will see at the end of the season. Those last 10 games, where the games that count the most, the games where you need to show who you are, that's where we'll see again and again these writings on the wall. Because against Liverpool, I don't know. Like, who knows? Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest. I don't know how Liverpool is right now. It's at the San Siro. I've seen crazy things happen at the San Siro Champions League night. I've seen the banter era Milan beat Real Madrid right in the beginning there at the San Siro with Montolivo on the pitch, or Barcelona or Real Madrid or Barcelona. I can't remember. So you can see crazy things happen at the San Siro. And as far as Inter goes, sooner or later we gotta fucking beat them. But even if we win against Liverpool and Inter, the season is still over. It's still done. We ain't winning shit. Because what will determine? First of all, we'll see when we're actually officially out of a race. Right now, the race is still open. Last year, we were officially out of a race by game day 5 because Inter broke Milan's spirit in half and the season was over. This year, unless something like that happens again, but we don't know how long Milan can be in the race. The year before, the year Paolo Maldini was fired, Milan was in the race up until January. And then after that Roma 2-2, Milan was out of the race. Last year, under the Furlani regime, Milan was in the race for 4 games. Game day 5, out, gone, out of the race. And for the people that saw this coming, we get shit, right? But the cheerleaders, the mindless cheerleaders, whatever. Y'all want to be mindless cheerleaders. That ain't me, guys. And it's not this channel. I don't understand. Like, you know that you're not going to get the mindless cheerleader fucking singing Milan songs. No, dude. Here, it's either you're the best, either you're elite, either you strive to be that, or you are not Milan. This is how we live Milan here. Either you strive to be the best, or you show me that you're trying to be the best, or you show me that that's the direction you want to go into, because that is what Milan is. That is what Milan's history tells you it should be. Then maybe even if we lose, I can still be positive. Right? Because under Ancelotti, we lost games. I wasn't negative when we lost games under Ancelotti. Or when Maldini was in charge, we lost games. I wasn't negative because I knew that the vision was there. But right now, we're losing games. We have no vision. The club is being shredded into pieces. Then some of y'all just want me to be a mindless cheerleader. Yay, yay, yay. We got to be real, guys. We got to be real. We got to decide. Do you want to be the the mindless cheerleader fan, or do you want to be... Now, that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, yeah? Like the Curva Sud guys, they don't give a shit. They're just going to be fans. They're going to cheerlead, blah, blah, blah. But there's other fans that are different. Y'all want to be mindless cheerleaders? Be it. Do it. But you're not going to get it here. So don't ask me to be one when I'm never going to be one. Me, I'm a fucking cheerleader for eliteness. Bruh, I saw Milan playing in a lot of Champions League finals. I saw Milan win a lot of Champions League finals. I saw Milan always strive to be the best, even when they weren't the best. Where is that? That's nowhere to be seen right now. Today was a fucking disgrace. Today was a disgrace. Now, Mr. Genius, you want to go to the fucking cheerleader section of YouTube? There are plenty of channels that right now are fucking jizzing on the camera because of the 4 goals that we scored. Go there. You ain't going to get it here, Mr. Genius. I mean, you're a genius, right? So you should know. You're not going to get mindless cheerleading here. You're going to get the truth here. All right, guys. I'll open up the lines. Let me open up the lines. Let me finish with this. This is how I feel. Okay. No. Listen. I don't want to go get into insults. We're not doing insults. I respect Mr. Genius here, but just respect me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not being negative. And you know what? The situation is negative. I'm just describing what is happening. The negative situation. Anyway, let me finish with this. Today, for me, this is the end of the season. It's over. After the three games we played right now, we did not see um, any adjustments as far as intensity goes, ideas on the pitch go, football, and most importantly, the main issue that was the problem last year, which is what do we do without the ball, specifically the midfield, has not been addressed at all. Zero. It even hasn't been touched. Today, for me, made it official. The summer was a failure. All right? And that's where I stand. The summer today was an absolute failure. They failed again, and it's going to be another season where at the end of the season, we're going to look at how many goals we conceded, and then we're going to ask ourselves why. All right, my rant is done here, guys. Thank you for listening. I'm going to open up the lines. So whoever wants to join and say what they want to say, you're welcome to. What's up, Antonio? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? We did it. We didn't concede a goal today. Uh, we need a trophy now because that was a
Yay.
big concern that I had. Um, Venezia was pretty awful today. Um, I'm just gonna say that. Listen. I don't have many takeaways. I will say that I liked some of the individuals, but the biggest concerns for me are that there were some openings for Venezia to go in through our defense and just cut us open. So that they were there, they just didn't really capitalize on those chances, and just there just seems to be a not really an oriented back line, which is very concerning. And we have Liverpool this Tuesday, so they could honestly just destroy us on Tuesday. And I'm expecting us to concede a good amount of goals on Tuesday.
Damn. Damn. ZZ, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Yo, what's up? To the people, I mean, I saw it's a relegation team. We just played a relegation team, and I think that you can see where there are issues. You can see where teams can hurt us. Our midfield doesn't lack a balance. Fofana, who I like, didn't play that well. He gave the ball away a lot. But our shape is still weird. The midfield is constructed for a 4-3-3, but we're still playing a 4-2-3-1. It's and also there's no value of passing in the team, so you're not actually freeing, like, teams are not moving out of their position, they're not moving out of their shape. So we're just relying on the individual brilliance of our players, and we have really top class players in our team, but I just see a complete lack of organization. I see it's just Pioli but worse. I mean, that's really what it is. And Emerson Royale, I don't know. People have said that he had a good game. I saw a really bad game from Emerson today. I don't know. That's just my opening thoughts.
Mm. All right. Nathan, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
What's going on?
All right. So you give your thoughts, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty. Go ahead.
Well, congratulations, we got a win, but against a better team, they would have punished us on a number of occasions. Um, I don't know who could possibly think Emerson had a good game if we didn't get escape with that lucky foul on who was it, Loftus Cheek or whoever it was. Emerson would have been at fault for the goal. Like, who was he clearing the ball to?
Yeah.
Bruh,
To who?
as a child, you are told certain things. Never pass the ball across the face of the goal, and don't fucking try and clear the ball with a header down the fucking middle in your own box. Like, what the fuck? You have the entire right side to flick the ball to, and you try and head the ball straight down the middle and out away. Come on, bro. What are you doing? Um, I guess one positive thing is Gabia and Pavlovic definitely look more secure than when Tomori is paired up with one of them. So I guess that's okay. Um, Tammy had an okay game. He's getting himself in there. Murata is still very weak. For as good as he is, he's just so physically weak. Um, Teo had an okay game. To be honest, he didn't really do much. And Liao, he got the penalty, but he kind of threw a temper tantrum when he got subbed off.
What's
I,
that?
I I don't think he threw a temper tantrum. He just walked off. I mean, I don't think it's that.
You can see his body language and his facial expression.
I think you're
He
reading too much
was
into things.
nah, bro. You can see his facial expression and you can see his body language. Even the commentators were saying, he doesn't look very happy right now.
But
Well,
but
some commentators were saying that it wasn't a red card on the Venezia player. I
but
thought
Yeah, it wasn't. It
it
was a
can
second
also
yellow.
be
Hold on,
that
hold
he
on.
wasn't happy with
It,
himself.
it was a
You know,
second yellow card, not a
that's the
straight red.
thing.
So he got two yellows. So therefore, it is a red card. So,
so. It wasn't a red card then.
bruh, did you not hear what I just said? Two yellow cards is a red card. He
Yeah, I
wasn't
know.
given a straight red. So that was a yellow card. His foot was high up on his ankle. So it's a second yellow. Therefore, you get a red.
So he eventually got a red.
Yeah,
I
because it
don't.
was two yellows. So are you telling
Okay.
me that wasn't a yellow card?
I think it could have been a straight red.
Okay, so what's the problem then? The commentator said it wasn't a red.
I'm
Okay, it
saying the
wasn't. It was a
commentators.
yellow.
I'm saying the commentators were defending that, saying it shouldn't have been a red card.
Because he got the ball first.
He was
Yeah,
passing the ball and then he put his studs up. I mean, what I'm saying is just because everyone's been commenting, and the thing is, if there is a problem between Fonseca and Leao, that's Fonseca's fault. He's the one that created this situation to begin with because he decided to throw the players under the bus, and then he needed them to get a point against Lazio. Like all these problems are a result of. So I think Leao played well today. I think he worked hard, and Fonseca was giving Leao his flowers after the game because maybe Fonseca finally realized that hey, I need my two best players in order to like exist. I mean, I don't know. I disagreed with you on the. I don't think any individual player. I don't know. I don't think against Venezia, Tomori would have been very different than what Gabia did today. Gabia didn't get challenged today. Our team didn't get challenged today because it's the worst team in the league that we played. So it's like,
it's
okay,
it's not about playing the worst team or the best team. It's about how you're positioning it. It's about your tactical IQ. The reason why I said Gabi and Tomori look more sound is because those two players, in terms of tactical positioning, are simply better than Tomori. Tomori relies solely on his physical attributes to bail himself out. That
I
does
think
not make you a good defender.
I think Tomori is constantly trying to put out fires of other players because of how poorly our defense is organized. And I think that he tries to maybe sometimes take on more than he can chew, but I think Tomori gets more shit than he deserves. Like against Lazio, like Pavlovic got away with being at fault for both goals and almost a third that Mike bailed him out on. But everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Pavlovic, he's the next Stam." Like,
Mm, not on this channel. I don't know about any other channels. I'm not going to speak for any other channels, but on this channels we call out people's flaws, and we all agreed that Pavlovic. In fact, for each of the games that he's been in, the goals that have been scored on us, Pavlovic has been involved in nearly half of them, if
I
not more than
I
half.
think Gabia will be exposed against better opposition. I like the kid, but I think Tomori is the
You
better
say
choice.
that, but Gabia was our best defender last year, and the
Tomori was
stats prove
awesome.
it.
Tomori was awesome last year until he got hurt.
He actually wasn't. Tamori was one
What
of
are
the
you
people
talking?
who
No,
no. If
until he
you
got hurt,
actually
Tomori was awesome.
if you go back and you
hmm
actually go and look at the stats,
I did.
and if you do your eye test, you will see that
hmm
Tamori was one of the players who was constantly caught out of position and constantly beat.
I,
When
I dis-
Gabia came back,
disagree.
the stats show and the eye test show that in terms of tactical defending and one-on-one defending, Gabia is simply better.
Uh, okay, I disagree with you. I don't
That's
think I
fine.
think
That's
Gabia
fine.
played well, but I think until Tomori got his major injury last year, he was actually doing very well last
But
year.
I
Like,
still
Do you know how
think
many
that
goals we gave
sorry,
up?
but I still think that it shouldn't be Gabia. It shouldn't be Tomori Pavlovic. It should be Gabia and one of those two guys because Gabia brings a different element to the game, which is a little bit more. He brings more composure with the ball, and that's something that both these defenders lack, especially Tomori. So if you're going to put Gabia there, sorry, if you're going to put either Pavlovic or Tomori, they have to be paired with Gabia. Um,
I think ideally you'd have. I mean, you'd be able to use different center backs against different teams and be able to rotate through
yeah.
them. I mean, that's what the most elite teams do. The problem is that we are so defensively disorganized that we're just hoping that our defenders will have like, an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 sort of game to cover up for the lack of organization that we have consistently. There is no consistency in terms of the way that we are organized. Our team is constantly open. We don't value possession, nor do we value passing enough. I saw a little bit of that today, I'll be honest, but again, it's Venezia, so it's like how much can you even figure out from from a game against a relegation team? But I think I, I don't like this is Roy. This is the one thing I disagree with you on. I don't know if it's about transfers. I look at it as I think there's a massive problem with our coaching. That our coaching is just so poor that I don't even know if these players are good or not. Like Emerson, no. Chuck, no. But like when I look at Fofana, I think he's a pretty good player. Does he make passes that he shouldn't? Yeah, he doesn't. Like it's our midfield is
well,
so poorly
hold on.
constructed, and
The
then
reason
on that,
hold
the
on, but let me
yeah,
sorry, let me just respond to the Fofana thing. Like I didn't know Fofana, I didn't care to know about who Fofana
yeah.
was. So when we got linked to him, I was like, okay, let's. So I'm thinking, okay, he plays for the French national team. Let's see if he does well. But he's not. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at him, and he's not a ball winner. He's not a ball winner. He's a very normal. He's like Loftus Cheek. He's like Reindeer. It's a basically copy and paste of Loftus Cheek and Reindeers. It's like the exact same player.
I think he can. I think he needs to again. Like I look at what De Zerbi is doing at Marseille. Like he has turned that team around, and or if like they're like coaching is massive, and I think our players need coaching and a system because that's what that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to create. Fonseca's trying to do positional play. He's trying to do Pep crap, like De Zerbi crap, Mota crap. Like that's what he's trying to do. But I don't think he even knows how to do it. And it's like our transfers were so bad this year that we only have four midfielders, senior midfielders now that Benacer is hurt, which is
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like the fact that we're going to have to rely on Kevin Zaroli. Listen, I want the kid to be amazing, but like he's a kid, and so the fact that Musa's the only senior midfielder that we have off the bench is scary. And I think on that end, that's the part that actually is scarier to me rather than any individual transfer. Maybe Emerson turns into the next Pulisic. Like that'd be great if Emerson turns around and becomes awesome. Who would be upset? But it isn't I'm not like everyone's going to have transfer misses or whatever. Fine. My bigger issue is I think even if we spent a cajillion dollars, the fact that our coaching is so bad and that our organization is so poor, to me, I look at it as it doesn't even matter what transfers we have because
Oh,
they
I
are
agree with
deep.
that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah.
yeah. I think like, and the fact that we don't even have a real backup for Teo Hernandez, if you think about it. Like, we really don't. Like, what if Teo gets suspended? Like, what are you going to put? You put Terracciano, a guy who looks just,
Bartasagi's every time he's played, he's actually done really good.
dude, enough to. No, man. He's playing more as a center back, like, even for Futuro. Like, he's not, like, he's.
Yeah, he's
I,
like Calafiori. He's like
Well, what?
Calafiori.
No, but we do have Jimenez. I mean, he's
yeah,
not
I
Teo
mean,
Hernandez level, but
right. But
he
I'm saying,
might
like,
become.
he's not even being called up. Like he's not even being called up. They're calling like it's I look at mismanagement. There's mismanagement on so many different
Oh yeah,
levels.
bro.
Oh
It's
yeah,
Just
crazy.
we
It
yeah we
gets
definitely agree
and
on
it's
that.
piling up. It's
it
piling
is.
up. It's piling up. It's getting always more and more. The pile is getting bigger and bigger and bigger every single month.
If Tammy works out, I'll be happy. If Morata works out, I'll be happy. Like Morata worked hard today. Tammy worked hard today. Like I don't look at any player. I don't look at them and be like. I just think about like Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He's a 4-3-3 midfielder. Why aren't we playing 4-3-3?
I think all of our midfielders,
All
except
of
for
them.
Benny, are 4-3-3.
Yeah. And the thing is, and if you're gonna have, and the funny thing is, like we could use a regista, and then we sent on loan to Fiorentina the one guy who can be a regista. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like we like it's. And the other thing that really gets me is that in our double pivot, our left side is the more offensive side, and yet we put the more offensive midfielder on that side instead of, because before we used to put Kessie there, and now like why isn't Fofana on that side, and then you put Ruben on the other side, right? Like
Yeah, they
these
put.
are like
Yeah.
these are the
But
small.
I don't think it would matter too much who you put there because those guys, they can't do what Kessie and Tonali did.
No,
I
but
think that
what I'm saying is it's still though. It's like if Teo and Leao are going to be that offensive, and you ask them to do that much offensive work, like why are you putting someone who you're putting either Reinders or Ruben Loftus-Cheek on their side, like, and they're not those are not they're not defensively strong midfielders. So put Fofana on that side. That's what we used to do with Kessie. Kessie was on that side. Like
Yeah,
these
yeah.
are the
No, I
things.
agree with that. You got to balance it out. If you're gonna have that side a little bit more open, balance it out with the more defensive player that you have.
Exactly.
Even though they're not defensive at all, but the one that is a little bit more, just try and look for a little bit of that balance.
It just
And
it seemed, and
there's
like, and
none of
we
that.
none of that whatever, we don't do, like, it's these choices that are made, like, and like why did we take lose so much time wasting time putting Pulisic as a 10 instead of just keeping him on the right wing? Like how much time did we waste with that experiment? It was an experiment that didn't work.
Yeah, and it's going to be another season of Chukwueze sitting on the bench. I don't think Chukwueze is going to stay at Milan next season. I think this is his last season here.
I'm surprised that he even stayed this year. Like
mm,
the only reason why he stayed was because the the management wanted to show that they wanted to make sure that
that was like their
they wanted to
statement.
win. Yeah, that was their
Yeah,
statement. Like,
That was
look,
their
we're right.
statement.
Yeah, because they can't admit that they were wrong. Like they don't want to do that. They spent 28 million on Chukwueze. He gets 4 million net
right.
salary.
They were
Like,
sure he was going to be a starter. They were
yeah,
sure.
like the fact that Pulisic worked out is, I'm glad,
Ooh,
but
lucky.
but the thing is, we're lucky. Like Chukwueze was supposed to be their guy, and Pulisic was supposed to be like,
In the
I'll play
middle.
on the left, I'll play on
Yeah,
the right, I'll like
right.
he'll help out everywhere. But without Pulisic, like we'd be screwed. Macias is better than Chukwueze. Macias.
Yeah, if Pulisic gets an injury, which he usually does, last season was a good season for Pulisic, where he never got serious injuries. If he gets an injury, then Chukwueze will play. Otherwise, he's going to be sitting on his
I mean,
ass
I
the
don't
whole
know
thing.
why we, like, maybe get someone like Orsolini. Like even, I hate him, but get Berardi. Like why not get him? Like I hate him. I really do. I don't like him at all. I don't think he's not the type of player I like. But it's like
Sabri
it's
wants Berardi.
but the thing, like, that's the thing. Like, well, I think Sarri should be the candidate if Fonseca gets destroyed. But again, we're gonna see, like we're going to see what's what on Tuesday. Like the derby, fine. Like we'll see what happens. But I mean, like Tuesday, like we get to see. Like I want everything to work. That's the thing. Like when people talk about negativity, dude, I want everything to be awesome. I want Fonseca to be the next great manager of the world. But and there's whispers that everybody at the club hates him apparently.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I've heard.
that's what I've heard
Oh,
too.
oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
I haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah, apparently they perceive him as a weak personality,
Well, I mean, yeah,
which
that's
is
true. To be
kind
honest,
of something we all knew, really, and it's just manifesting itself.
yeah. But
Um,
yeah,
but
sorry.
listen, watch out for the Liverpool game because those are games where you don't need a coach to motivate you. The
Yeah.
San Siro will do that for you. the Champions League. We'll do the cameras. You know, that's Leao. He's Leao. That's prime time for Leao. He loves it when the cameras are on him, and all the scouts from the different clubs are watching him. So I don't know, man. We might see good stuff in
I hope so.
Vicentino. We might see
I
good
think,
stuff.
I mean, I all of us want that. Like, I don't think I don't think there are like a true Milan fan who wants this team to do badly. It's just a question of, you know, looking at the way things are done, and I think, you know, this team doesn't have leadership. I think our players are still pretty young. I don't know, like
Yeah.
Leao and Teo, like we they're still young. Like their prime is still like another like 2 years away before they really should be hitting like top gear. And they're still, again, Teo Hernandez is the best left back in the world. When people like when people complain about him, I'm like, who's better? Who would you get that's better than him? You know? Or with Leao, like Leao's a very good left winger. He's one of the best left wingers in the world, top five,
Well,
easily.
if possible, I would like Udoji.
I mean, if you can, sure, maybe if you can trade them, but I mean, why would you?
If you had to, like if we got rid of Teo, the only choice for me would be Udoji.
And that's a good kid. But I mean, I'm sure. But Spurs are expensive, so it's like I don't know, man. I look at the fact that our team isn't planned properly is the thing that really annoys me. Like that's the concern because these next two games are going to be brutal, and I'm worried about like our midfield. Do we have enough players to even get through these games? Like I don't know, man. It's
Like I don't even think it's the. I really don't think it's the like. Do we have the midfielders to get through? It's the tactics. Like we've been saying, we're still playing a 4-2-3-1. I hope everyone at this point realized that this formation is not an offensive formation. Like it's a defensive formation first. That's why you have two double pivot CDM players to protect the defense. Like if you want to do good passing and things like that, you got to go to a 4-3-3 or a three-man defense.
I
Like
think I think that it's the formation itself. It's like I don't think Fonseca's even I don't see any change from Pioli. Today I saw like one or two like, you know, I saw like passing patterns that created a chance or two, but it's like other than that, like I don't like do you see a big change from when we had Pioli last year to now? Because I don't see a big
I
change.
saw a change. Yes, less
What
intensity.
change?
Less
Less okay,
intensity.
sure. It's shittier. It's shittier because Pioli, for all his faults, was a great man manager. So he's able to keep the players in the best, you know, possible mood. But so Fonseca's worse on man management, and he's worse. Like he's the equal to, or maybe slightly better, if you want to be nice, than Pioli tactically. But he's so shitty from a management thing that he already pissed off many players in like a few weeks. Like it's I don't know, man. I think it's I again we won't. I don't think this game doesn't tell us anything. I think people trying to like there are like I'm seeing people trying to act like this is like vindication. You know, it's not. This is
hey,
like
you didn't realize that we are now contenders for the second star. I
like
thought you knew this.
it's just crazy to me seeing people trying to like listen. I want all our new players to become the best. Like it's just I don't see how a relegation. The funny thing is, like these first three games that open up our season, they should have been these sorts of games where you maybe you drop points here or there, but like you're supposed to see something. You know, like oh, I see what the coach is doing. I see this new. I saw nothing new with Fonseca. All I did is I saw him piss off our best players, and like for no reason because he wanted to be the big guy because he wanted to drop them against Lazio, and then he needed them afterwards. Like it's these next two games are going to tell us what's what. Like obviously things can turn around, but it's like it yeah, and I'm sorry, Kim, I gotta agree. The fact that we only gave Zeroli that like we're up 4-0.
Yeah,
You're gonna
13
need
minutes to play.
you're gonna
Jesus
need the kid.
Christ.
You're gonna need the kid, and we need to give him. And by the way, he looked fine. Like, but you need to give him more minutes. The fact that we let Kalulu go for Emerson as well, like I saw that comment as well. That is the craziest thing ever because I look at Emerson, I'm like, what does he do that's like Calabria, when he's running, he always looks like he's like injured. Always, even when he's like top. But like at least with Calabria, you know that every once in a while, whenever we play a big team, he's suddenly awesome. I don't know what the hell is going on with the kid, but all of a sudden, like, but with Emerson, I am terrified of what's going to happen to Emerson against Liverpool and Inter. It's going to be terrible.
What do you guys think about this comment right here? Liverpool will make us play counter-attacking, which is Milan's strength right now.
I mean, that's
is it really our strength?
yeah, I think so. I think it. I think it is. I think the question. I think it is. It's true. Like we play at our best when we're on the counter. My question is, does Fonseca have the trust of the team, nor can he even organize the defense well enough to be able to effectively play on the counter? Because
Yeah, the transitions.
And that
Can
and
he
that's
organize
that's
those transitions?
and that's what I meant. Like, is it really our best? Because with the way this team defends and the way we have our gaps in between our lines are so big at times, like I don't know. I
Hold
think
on,
we're gonna
hold
I
on.
think we're gonna be sitting back in our defense for a long time.
I think we're going to be sitting back. I don't know actually, but how do you think Fonseca is going to prepare it? That's a question. Do you think Fonseca is going to go, hey, we're going to press him high, we're going to play the high game, or is he going to go, we're going to wait for them, stay deep, and catch him on the counterattack?
I
What do you think he's going to do?
I think it's going to look more like preseason. And in preseason, what we did more was we sat back, like against City and things like that, and we actually played through them on the counter, which was nice. Okay, but when teams sat against us, so I think with Liverpool, they're going to want to have possession. That's how they play now. Like, they lost today, but and that's hopefully that means that they'll suddenly look like shit and we can beat them, which would be great. But I mean, they're going to be much and they're because they lost, they're going to want to prove something, obviously. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think against Liverpool, I think we're going to sit back and I think honestly I worry that he'll try and press against Inter, which is exactly what Inter wants you to do. Like the approach against Inter is to sit back as well and to use possession to get
But
them out of their spot. But I don't think he's gonna do. I think maybe because he's scared for his job, he'll play on the counter against both, which would be the best thing right now.
but the team has not been built to do that. The team has been built to play high offensive, high press football.
But he doesn't even know how to do it. That's the
Well,
thing.
okay,
Like,
that's
yeah.
another problem. That's another
So,
problem.
but what hopefully, like you said, hopefully the fact that it's the Champions League, it's Liverpool, it's one of the big and
Yeah.
again like Liverpool, that's going to be the highlight of that day. Like everyone's going to watch that game, and then all the nostalgia. They're going to talk about 2007. They're going to talk about Istanbul. They're going to talk about Athens. Blah blah blah, and endlessly talk about that. Which is fine, but it's going to be the big game, and I think to be honest, to be fair, our players show up in big games. I think when it came against Inter,
We
every
lost
single
every
time
big game though. What do you mean?
last year, yeah, but I think that the players try, and I think that what the problem was is that our setup was so everybody knows how to beat us now. Like there's a blueprint, and every team does the same thing. They keep on switching the ball until they can isolate our right back, and then they cross in from the right to be able to get a chance. So it's like the blueprint on how to beat us has been there since Pioli times. So it's like the way I look at it is I think it's a lack of it's going to be based on whether Fonseca actually is a good manager or not. Maybe he just had a slow start. I don't think so. I don't like him, but I want to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I want things to be great, but it depends on how he approaches the game. If he like I don't know. It doesn't these next two games will tell us a lot about Fonseca. It'll tell us a lot about the level of organization, what his ideas are. Like, I think so. I don't know. That's just my
How
view.
is Liverpool playing in the Premier League? Anybody knows?
Sorry to be a know-it-all, but I watched them. Today they
Okay.
didn't. I'm sorry. Their first three games, they don't play the same intensity that they used to with Klopp. What they're doing is they're doing much more. they're being much more patient with the ball. They start out kind of slow and kind of cautious in the first halves of their games. Against Man United, they just slapped the shit out of them. But in their first two games against lesser opponents, their first halves weren't that great, and then they turned the gas on in the second half. So it's like against Man United, like they were just better. Ten Hogs, and so it's like the scary thing though is that a lot of the things that people complain about with Pioli and Fonseca, the lack of identity, the lack of organization, all that stuff can apply to our team as well. So today, I didn't watch Liverpool that much, but they were patient, but they didn't have like a bite. Like they don't
Was it
look
their
like they
full
had.
squad today? Do you know?
Yeah, they just didn't look like they had it today. Like they don't look they don't look like themselves today. So maybe they just had a bad day. Like Salah didn't look right today. So it's like, okay, maybe like, international break, all their like players were out in like various countries. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe just one of those games, where everything like things just went Forest's way, blah, 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 blah. I mean, we're gonna find like I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing for us to have for them to have lost. I think I mean, we'll see. Liverpool is a hell of a team. Like even if Arne Slot is a new coach, like you're still talking about a Liverpool squad that if you look at it, they are stacked.
Yeah,
They have a stacked team.
yeah.
So
Uh, yeah. So hopefully Vicencito shows up and gives
we
a
have
little
to.
bit of fire in the ass of our
Hmm.
players. All right, guys. Listen. What about anything positive that we can extract from today's match? What do you guys think?
I think there is positive stuff to see. There is. I mean, Leao looked hungry in the first half. I think players kind of once it's 4-0, I think players are just kind of like, all right, like we won. So, but I think Leao and Teo looked hungry in the first half. Like they did. I think, once I think at 4-0, I think there's like this idea that like, you kind of got to take it easy on your opponents. But I mean, they
Well,
looked hungry.
Venezia was impressing, really, also. Venezia had a very strange approach. It's almost like they knew they were going to lose and we're just going to go through the motions. But even with that approach, they still went through
Should
our
have scored
midfield.
some goals. They
Yeah,
should
I
have.
think the big question is
That's
if
crazy.
we didn't
That's
score
crazy.
that early goal, would things have been different? And I think that's the case. I think that early goal helped us and put us in a much better spot to be able to control the game more. So I mean, if you want to look at positives, the positives are going to be we kept. If you want to be really nice, we kept a clean sheet, though we shouldn't have. Um, and that's because of Emerson. I think in the defense, Emerson is the weak link. I think there's that. I think we also saw. I'm trying to be really positive here, guys. So don't like hate on me. But like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, when he cares, can actually be a very good player. I think when he got stuck in, he did very well today. He made some good passes forward today. Um, so like there's that. Like if he decides to care, he can look like a top player. Like I'm not a fan of his, but it's true. Reinders being a little bit further forward, he didn't get on the ball as much, but he created danger through his like ball carrying and things like that. And it's better to have him in the final third than Ruben. Um, if you Pulisic and Leao look good, Tammy's working really, really hard. I mean, Tammy worked his ass off, and so did Morata. I think you can see the players wanting to prove something, and they were working hard. I think that's a positive. Mike started this season really well too. There's also
All
that.
right. Okay. Okay.
Like,
Abdi, what's up, brother?
Yeah, hi guys, hi guys.
What's up?
Mr. Abdi, dude.
We,
Go ahead.
we,
Tell us what you
we,
thought about the game.
yeah, listen, we've won 4-0, and I'm still hearing complaints.
Let's
We just
go.
won.
Let's go, Abdi. Come on. Tell us, man.
Nah, nah.
Get angry. Get angry.
We won 4-0, and I'm still hearing complaints. We were great tonight. We were great. I know the goals came with two penalties, one open play goal, one
Wait,
set
you're
piece.
great. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Just
Yeah,
finish your
I didn't watch this. I didn't watch the first half, right, because I was busy. But I came towards the end of the first half, like 40 minutes onwards, and I think we were great. I think we were very good. Loftus Cheek surprised me a lot, to be fair. And I said it. He was just having bad form. Those first two games, he was just bad form. And his team just needed time to gel together, and now they're here. And it's good that they're here because now we have two very strong oppositions coming up, and we can go into it with confidence.
Bro, we
Now,
played Venezia, bro. You a little
it,
too hype right now.
Well,
doesn't matter, man.
It
Doesn't
does
matter. You
matter,
just be
bro. It
happy.
does matter, bro.
You
let
should
him
just
finish. Let
Listen.
Abdi finish. Let
Yeah,
Abdi
okay.
yeah,
finish.
yeah. You should just be happy. Fonseca finally has got a win under his belt. That's good momentum, and we can go ahead and use that. Now, I think this gentleman said it perfectly. The only negative I can take from that game, one of the only negatives, is Emerson Royale. I think he's horrendous. The, I I genuinely don't know how he starts for that team. The team was good overall, but still somehow I'm able to see and depict how rubbish he is. Right, Uh,
Yeah.
but I mean, Tammy Abraham, amazing work rate today. I mean, he had a couple missed passes here and there, but I love the way he was like eating up at himself every time he made a mistake. But him, Morata, they were very good. Um, I think Liao and Theo, they showed us tonight what they're capable of. We can use that going forward into these games. So I don't know what all this negativity is about. Be happy, guys, man. Come on.
Listen,
The season finishes in May. That's all I have to say. The season finishes in May.
Yeah, that's why I'm not
Last.
happy. That's why I'm not happy because the season
you
finishes in May.
realize
Go ahead.
this energy that you're giving.
Yep.
First, number one, we are not upset that we won. We
All
are
right.
upset at the style of play in which we are performing. We are upset at the fact that even though we're playing Venezia, a team that basically just laid down and let us do what we want, they
Mm.
still can walk to our goal basically uncontested. This same energy that you're giving is the same energy from last year that people were giving because we won 3 games despite the fact that teams were breaking us down very easily. It's the
All right.
same energy, bro.
Okay. Now, what if we go ahead and beat Liverpool and Inter? Then what?
I don't
Okay,
think it
but
changes much. I don't think it
I
changes
think that
much.
changes a lot. No, I'll be honest. I think it
I
changes.
don't think so. I
Yeah,
don't
I'll
think
tell
so.
you why I think so. Because the negativity, and I'm not a negative person. I like to be positive. But the
Yeah.
reason why I'm not looking at this win and I'm like, yeah, is I see where where better teams would be able to hurt us very badly, which I think is a lack of organization and Emerson being trash. But if we beat Inter and we beat Liverpool, then yeah, honestly, I'll change my tune a lot. But it's the fact that we're seeing the same problems that we had last year. We're seeing a lack of leadership. We're seeing a lack of management and how to even structure a squad properly. I mean, we signed Jovic for some reason, and now he can't. Now he's not even on our lists to be able to play. So it's like it's things like that are giving us pause. I'm happy about us winning 4-0, but I am pessimistic about our season going forward because I think that we're just not organized enough. And I don't think beating the
Ah,
worst team in the league 4-0 is enough to change my mind because I watched Lazio. I watched Parma, a promoted team, make us look horrible. So it's like
but those
we're
games
gonna
are in the
see.
past now.
And that's why I
Not the
said
past, it's a couple weeks ago.
you got to be careful of
No,
the energy that you're giving, bro, because other small teams have made us look like chumps. Like this one
those
win
were the
against
first two
Venezia
games.
is bro, our first goal that we scored, the Venezia goalkeeper was picking up flowers, bro. Then we got 2 penalty kicks. Like, bro,
I
come
mean,
on.
Listen,
I
I
don't
want
think
to.
that it's.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead,
No, no,
Roy. I'm
finish,
sorry.
finish. Because I want to
I
say why I think I disagree. Well, why I
Yeah.
think even if we win against Liverpool and Inter, it doesn't change anything. But I want to
Wow.
go ahead. Finish what you're going to say, but I'll say.
I'm just gonna say like I don't see. I didn't see. Last year, Pioli tried a 4-3-3, and then he lost against Inter, and then he stopped using it, which was done. If you're going to use a 4-3-3, you're going to get transfers for a 4-3-3. Okay, you lost to Inter. It's a bad game, 5-1, and then he just got scared and he didn't even believe in the ideas. Our team fell apart and we just had more talent than everybody and we got second. The team is talented in my view. My problem is there's a lack of organization, and I don't think that lack of organization was still apparent against Venezia. Venezia, they play without fear. Credit to their coach, credit to those players to do that, but they weren't good enough to hurt us. My fear is what do we do when we go against somebody greater? And I think for me, we're going to find out this week.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so,
let me just say what I think.
yeah.
Listen, I think even if we win against Inter or Liverpool, it doesn't change anything. Because,
Um,
as I said, for me, what I saw today pretty much seals it. Nails in the coffin. Season over, done. The Mercato was a failure. The management is not good enough. There's too much mismanagement. So even if they win now, the wins that will matter, which are the wins in April, in March, April, that part of the season, Milan is going to nowhere to be seen, and I'm sure about that. So even if we win now, doesn't really matter because the wins that will matter, we won't able to do those.
wh- where is this negativity coming from? I need to understand.
It's not negativity. It's just the team is not built properly. It's not built to do that. While the
Just
other team,
you need to
well,
take off the Milan blinders and just look at things
Mm,
objectively.
okay, even if I look at
hey,
things
but listen, guys.
objectively,
If I'm if you know if tomorrow, listen, if Milan wins and they win the Champions League, hey, listen, I'll be like, okay, I misread the situation, but the way I'm reading the situation right now, it's like this.
no, look here. Mm, So even if now we go ahead and beat Liverpool and Inter, you won't be celebrating at all. Is that what you're saying? Even if you see an improvement
No, I
in the
think
style of
yeah,
play.
of course I'll say I'll
No,
no
those are
listen.
huge
I
things to
I
celebrate.
need to beat Liverpool. I have to beat Liverpool for my sanity. We need to literally. I feel like for me personally, I'm being like you know personally, I need to see Milan beat Liverpool. All right,
Okay,
do you
now
understand?
look,
I need to
uh,
see it.
yeah, like look. If I'm being fair now, in the second half, when I was watching the second half, I can say that I saw an improvement in the midfield, in the way they were playing and building up the ball. Now I know it's against a relegation team. I know, but it's at least something. We weren't showing this in the first two games. We weren't putting the goals behind in the net. But at least now we're seeing good passage of plays and we're seeing them build up from the back. Now, okay, I can see a couple of negatives, like for an example, off this cheek. I think when when he drives forward, he holds onto the ball too long, and we're open for a counter attack. But I feel we filled in those gaps today. But of course, I understand why you guys would be worried against a team like Liverpool and Inter. But I don't think that Fonseca will set up the team in a way that he would allow that to happen, if you get what I mean. I don't think he's stupid enough. So, listen, it's a good result. We should all be happy. The team did
I find
well.
it hard. I find it hard to be happy today, dude. I swear. I
Oh,
don't know. I really find it hard. For me,
mm,
because I listen. If you were listening to the previous streams, I said
yeah.
that I think Milan was going to win big today, but I didn't expect like this. I thought Milan was going to have a real performance, but today those goals literally meant nothing because the performance was the exact same performance of Lazio, of Parma, and the other team. It was
What?
exactly the same.
I think we were watching two different games. I think we were good. Of course, there was the odd couple of chances that they would get, but let's be honest here. Inter concede chances as well. Other teams concede chances, so we're not allowed to concede chances now.
It's not that we concede chances. It's the fact that every time they get the ball, it's a chance that we're giving up.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
really
That's
problem.
in
it's
every
really
team.
the ease with which
Right,
teams
it's the
just
ease
go
in which
through
it's
us.
being done.
It's too
Like
easy.
obviously, it's impossible to not give up chances every single game. They have
Yeah.
to prevent a team from having a single chance is almost impossible. But you can mitigate the amount of times it happens, and we are incapable of doing that.
And
Like
listen,
100% incapable of doing that.
and sometimes you can even if they have ball possession, but you keep them on the wire. You keep them running. You keep them trying, and then they'll make a mistake. But with us, no, they go through the midfield. Then the midfield and the defense is disconnected, so there's always open players and there's open movements. There's a lot of guessing needs to take place, and and You know,
It's the same as last year, Roy.
out of
It's, that
10
is the same as
crosses,
last year.
5 of them will hit ahead and 2 of them will go in the goal.
Roy, it's the same as last year. It is the
Exactly the
exact
same.
same as last year.
Nothing has changed.
Ugh.
Now listen, guys. I really hope I'm wrong, but this is how I'm reading it right now, and I cannot but not read it that way. I'm not. Yeah.
I'm happy about us winning. Don't get me wrong. For me, I want us to at least get top four because if we don't, it'll ruin our finances. And so for me, that's really important, obviously. And it's important to attract new players, to have Champions League, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, I'm going to be happy about every single win. My issue is personally, I'm afraid. I think this week will show us what our team is made of, what our team is made of, what our
Mm.
management is made of, what our coach is made of. But it obviously doesn't. It's not the end of the world. If Fonseca is the truth, I'll be the happiest person in the world. My biggest, what I'm annoyed at, I'll just speak for myself. We fired Maldini and we dismantled a lot of things. And the whole idea was we did that so that we would move forward. And the ownership made it seem like, hey, Maldini was the problem. He bought Charles de Ketelaere and blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. This is their second year. And they look like morons. And I think that this team is too good to be wasted on their things. So am I happy this game? Yes, dude, I'm so happy. I'm happy that Tammy scored. I'm happy that Leao looked like a monster today. Teo looked like he was really interested. Like eh, I think all our players tried very hard. Even Emerson, who I don't like, tried very hard. He's just why did we pay money for him? Like he's a good
Yeah.
guy, but why did we pay money for him? Like what was the point of that? So it's like to me, I think we're going to see what we're really about. This not just obviously maybe we win against Liverpool and Inter and then we crumble. I wouldn't want that. I'd rather us lose against Liverpool and tie the derby and then win every single game afterwards. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We don't know what's happening, but it's just like if you look at our preseason, great. We had nice results against big teams, but then as preseason went along, things started getting worse actually. Like if you look at our game against Monza, that was actually a pretty bad game in which goals covered up the issues. And then we played against Torino. Again, our comeback covered up the issues. And they're like, okay, we got away with one. And then we play Parma, a newly promoted team. And I'm not saying, I don't think, and people just wanted to point like our coach pointed the fingers at Leao and Teo and nobody
Yeah,
else.
because they play like garbage.
Fine, they played like garbage. People have bad
Okay,
games.
then.
Salah had a bad game today. So the thing is like I think if you're a
Yeah,
player,
but it's not just a bad game. They've been very poor since the Scudetto win.
no way, man. Poor
Bro.
since the Scudetto win.
They have been poor.
Who?
Mm.
Liverpool?
Leao and Teo have been
Leao and
poor
Teo,
since the
they have been-
Scudetto.
Yes, they have been poor. They have been poor.
Name a what?
I know. I can
It's
see. I
not-
can
it's
see. I
not
can see
about-
where he's
it's
coming
not
from.
about. It's not about name a better person. It doesn't matter. There's always someone better. But the fact of the matter is, their performances have not been up to par. They haven't. It's the same thing with Tomori. I'm not going to single out just that, but it's the same thing with Tomori. In the game against who was it? Not Parma. Teo literally could not be bothered to run back on defense, and then they scored. So what? We're supposed to say, "Oh well, Teo's the best wing back in the world. He doesn't need to run back and defend." No, if you play like that, you get criticized and you get punished. That's the
Sure.
way it should be.
But you're saying that he's been bad for 2 years.
He has been bad for 2 years. His defending
That's
is
okay. Well,
that's a
pretty big statement to say that
That's
he's been
fine.
bad for
I'm
2
fine
years.
with making that
Hernandez?
statement.
You think Hernandez has gone down?
He is, yeah. His defending has gone down. His one-on-one defending. I'm not talking about his recovery defending. I'm talking about in a standstill, one-on-one with the person. He is consistently being beaten every single time.
I
No.
don't know if I agree
No.
with that. I honestly
No
don't
way.
think-
I'm just letting you know how it is.
It's not like that, so I don't know where you're getting it from. Honestly, like I don't I like you're saying Teo and Leao have been bad for the last 2 years.
I think
Yeah.
Leao has failed to
They have
go
not.
forward.
They have not.
What's
lived
the
up-
expectation
Teo.
with Leao? Is the expectation with Leao to
To be
be
better
to
at
put up
football.
Mbappe numbers?
No. Expectation of Leao is to be better at football, not just be good at running fast and dribbling. Be
Has
good
he
at
been in
football.
a has he been in a situation, okay, where he has the coaching and the organization of a team to be able to shine? Because look at
Mm.
Vinicius for Brazil.
Yeah,
Brazil
that's a
is a
good.
shit
That's
show
hey,
right now.
that's not a bad
Brazil
question.
is a
That's not a
shit
bad
show right
question.
now. For Real Madrid, Vinicius is the man, okay?
Right.
And but the thing is, then when he plays for Brazil, like Brazil is going through chaos. For those who don't know, Brazil is going through a terrible time, and Vinicius doesn't do shit. Like he doesn't do
Okay.
shit. So to
If you
me,
want
I
to
look
blame it on the coaches, fine, no
for
problem.
me, coaching is the biggest problem. We are
Um,
consistently disorganized. Since the Scudetto, we stopped playing in the style that won us the Scudetto. Pioli started using the worst tactics possible, going from an actual 4-2-3-1 to a 4-2-4, which fails. And we have consistently been one of the most disorganized teams I've ever seen the last 2 years. I
okay,
think
but
our talent covers up how shitty our coaching has
I
been in
don't
that.
disagree with any of that because it is true. Like you need, if Guardiola comes there, then Guardiola is going to force him how to play like that. But I do think that there is self responsibility. The players do have self responsibility. It's up to them to get better. It wasn't a coach that told Cristiano Ronaldo to become Cristiano Ronaldo. It was Cristiano Ronaldo who told himself to become
Mhm.
Cristiano Ronaldo. And I'm not seeing that in Leao. You know,
I
that's
think I think if we saw our players in a more court with just a better coach, like again, I think you bring in Deserbi, in this team, I think we would see a fundamentally different
yeah,
team.
maybe.
And I
Maybe.
think the fact that we are so disorganized, basically what we do is we're like, Leao, Teo, can you just like win the game for us? Just do something. That's what we do. We're still doing that same
Mm.
shit where we're just like, hey, here, we're gonna throw the ball at you and please do something. Just grab it and win the game for. Like that's what we do to this day. Like very very rarely do we just have constructed
Well,
plays where we pass the ball around and and one of our attackers just gets to shoot. That happens so rarely.
yeah. Well, listen. My opinion is that in these 2 years, Leao has kind of plateaued. He has had some improvements, but he has plateaued. But I disagree with Theo Hernandez. I think Theo Hernandez has improved. Like he's getting better every year. I think there's still a lot of margin for Theo to improve more. Um, I think when people say he's number one in the world, I agree with that. I don't disagree with that. I think he is number one in the world in that position.
What number in left wingers in the world do you think Leao is? Like top what?
Mm, uh, well, just left wing,
Yeah, just left wingers. Like who would be like if would he be top 10, top 5, top 3? What do you think?
You said
probably
for
top
Leao?
10. Probably
Yeah,
top 10 maybe.
I think Leao's top 3. I that's my opinion. Like I think that like only Mbappe and Vinicius are better left wingers than Leao.
Then
And I think if you
no, I don't
if
agree.
you look at production, just like
Wait,
again like
wait, but why?
who's
Why?
I think Leao's production statistics underline that he is one of the most elite left wingers in the world.
Okay, okay,
I don't
yes.
know like who would be
It
better than him. Like that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, I think Viceverski is better than it.
Kvara?
But yeah, that's one
No.
player that's better than it.
Mm. As a
I
player, yes, he's better than Leao.
I think Lamine Yamal is better than him. I think Nico Williams
He's a
is
right
better than
winger.
him.
Yamal is
Okay,
a right winger.
all right. I think Nico Williams is better than him.
Nico Williams
Vinicius is,
hasn't had a goal or assist this season.
but the way he plays is better.
He hasn't had a goal or assist this season. Imagine if
Yeah, but
Leao
Nico
did.
Williams, we only saw him in
Okay,
the,
the
in the
season just
Euros.
started. Anyway, the season just started for him, but I can see that he's a better player. But I don't think I don't agree with you. He's top 3. I think he's top 10. Or we might agree to disagree. But for me, and also like he didn't even make the Ballon d'Or list, top 30 in the world players in the
Salah didn't
world.
make the Ballon d'Or list. Who cares about the Ballon d'Or?
Salah was horrible
Well,
last
but
season.
the Ballon d'Or, I don't. I listen. I'm not a big fan of the Ballon d'Or process, but Ballon d'Or does tell you about the performances, right? Because at the end of the day, the people are watching, and if his performances did not convince, there is a reason. Um, I mean, can he be top 3? In my opinion, fuck, I don't know.
I'm
Honestly,
sorry,
I don't.
I can't agree with the Nico Williams thing. I think Leao is so much better than Nico. It's insane. Like if again
It,
if
from
if
what I
Leao,
saw, I don't agree. Like maybe Leao is better in his short burst and creating space for himself. He's elite at that. At that, he's probably top three at that. I don't know if he's top three at that, but he's definitely there. But when
look
I
at
talk
Nico's scoring.
when I
Nico's
talk about the
scoring is
player,
dog shit.
when I talk about the player, I talk about the whole player. And for me, Nico Williams is just in general a smarter player, and better technique. Now,
Better IQ
Maybe
as
better
well.
better
technique.
IQ.
I
Also,
don't know about
IQ.
better IQ.
also, let's compare their goals at the same age because that could be an indicator. I mean, Nico Williams is still pretty young. I think Nico Williams at 25 is going to be, if he continues this way, is going to be a way better player than Leao. Way, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Okay, but right now though, I don't see that many better than Leao. I'm sorry. Like he's like there are very few players that are better than him. But well, the point is the larger point though is that you have talent in this team. That's my view, and that we have coaching that is so bad that we can't even utilize it. So the thing is that I don't think it's a coincidence that I think that it's unfair to be like, oh, these players, they're not doing enough, blah blah blah. The way I look at it is Pulisic had his best year because, and he said it himself, by the way, he had his best year because everyone was worried about Leao, and then they just clog our left side, and Pulisic had all the time in the world, like it opened up things, and we all said if Leao finally had somebody on the right who is as dangerous, and Pulisic is a great guy to have on the right. But the thing is, we're just so disorganized now that we can't, like, dude, we can't win games 1-0. Like, like Man City wins games 1-0 sometimes. Like, you should be able to do that. But like, we are just so So for me, I look at our players and I think we have a good squad that is not used properly in any way, shape, or form.
But
But
when you say good squad,
Yeah. I just can't.
go ahead,
agree with
Nathan.
that.
Go ahead, Nathan. Go ahead.
I mean, when you say good squad, there needs to be some sort of balance. We have 5 box-to-box midfielders that have no clue what it means to defend. Like
Fofana's a defensive midfielder. Last year he wasn't. No, I keep hearing this. He's the box to box. I watched Monaco. Like last year he was not playing defensive mid, but if you look before that, he played defensive mid quite a bit. But it doesn't matter. Like it's like if you don't have that, then why are we playing a 4-2-3-1 where you're required? Like if you have a 4-3-3, then you can distribute that.
Well, then the team is not built right.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that we don't have good players. I think we have good players, but it's poorly constructed for purpose. And the fact that you can't even maximize your players well, to me, shows like that there are fundamental problems on the managerial level.
I do agree the managerial level and the coaching level is not up to par. But it's the individual errors, the lapse in concentration that these players exhibit every single game. Like the coach can't play for you.
But we're so disorganized that you are relying on duels being won constantly, which is the worst thing that you ever want to do with a defender. What you want is a team to defend as a collective. What our coaches do is we constantly put our defenders on islands and we ask them, win your one-on-one duel, and if they don't, which will happen to anybody, right?
But like, why isn't Fofana able to help out whatever the side he's on? How come he's not able to mitigate that? Because that's what Kessie, Tonali, and Benacer before injuries. That's what they were able to do.
But the thing is, think about how bad we were, even with Benacer and Tonali after Kessie left, because we played a different shape. And by the way, Kessie in the Scudetto year,
we were not this bad.
I know that. I know we weren't this bad. But the thing is what I'm saying is like we still had bad games though. That year we finished 5th. Like
we finished 5th because the owners decided not to spend any money.
I know that, but it's not just about that. I think that Pioli also played in a very different way than what got the win. Like we played like CDK doesn't play as a 10 for Atalanta. He plays as a right winger or as like a false 9, a second striker. And Gasperini said, and I'm quoting him, he's like, he can't play as a midfielder. He has to be an attacker.
Right.
And so like, we spent a whole year trying to force this kid into a role that he wasn't made for. Like to me, it shows you, or like we
We
didn't
still
play
got to the semifinals.
Listen,
Though.
there's no
great.
doubt Pioli made mistakes. Yeah, no doubt about this.
So I'm saying is that like, but think about it. We didn't use Yassine Adli at all that year, and then all of a sudden, then the next year he's starting games for us and doing really well.
Yeah, because
Like
Adley Lilly admitted that Adley basically lied on his CV saying that he can do it.
that's what.
That's why he started playing.
But that shows you how terrible. Like you know what's funny? Everyone was like, we need a Hakan Çalhanoğlu replacement, and we have this kid named Yassine Adli who does the exact same crap that Hakan Çalhanoğlu does, and we're like, oh, where is he? No, he
I don't
does.
think he does the same thing as Hakan.
Not
He
the same
literally
level.
does.
Not the same level.
He doesn't do the
It's
same.
not the same
things.
level.
Every,
It's not the same level though. You can't.
He's a kid though. He's a kid who lost an entire year of his development. We didn't play him at all when we could have used him. We got to watch CDK play like garbage for a whole year. Like CDK was absolute
The one
garbage.
good game CDK played was against Torino, where he was
And
playing
it's like as a
false nine.
striker. Yeah, as a striker. It's like the one time, and then we never try, and then Pioli never tried it again. It was crazy.
Look, but don't you think, guys? Look, we've had two managers now, and those same two managers are struggling with the same thing to play out from the back, keep clean sheets. Do you not look to the players even a little bit in an instance like this?
I look at the lack of
Yeah,
organization.
But-
To
but
me,
that's
I'm
what-
sorry,
that's
I
what
can't
we've been
overlook how badly we are organized and be like it's the players. Do the players play some fault? Yes, but to me, like the fact that like a change in coach, because the coach is doing the same thing as like Fonseca's doing the same thing as Pioli. So for me, I'm like, well, what's the point? What's the point?
We can't actively say that he's doing the same thing as Pioli. Maybe he doesn't want to. I don't think Fonseca is dumb enough to do that. I
I
just
don't know,
think
guys. Hold
I
on.
think he's dumb enough.
But players do matter because if you put Tonali and Kessie in that double pivot, it's not the same. All of a sudden, things work. All of a sudden, things work. If you put Tonali and Kessie in that double pivot, and you have that same balance that we had that year
But
we won the Scudetto.
Kessie played on the left, and we're playing Fofana on the right. It's like, what, like if you go back and you look, Kessie's consistently covering like that. And then the other thing is like our 10.
Good, because we had
But
two
that's-
world class
but that's-
midfielders.
that's the whole
Tonali and
point.
Kessie were
That's-
two world class midfielders, and
that's why
Benacer also.
That's why I keep saying that these guys are not. These guys are not what you think. Like Kessie and Tonali is the reason why that these guys even were able to do anything that they were doing before. Like they are the sole reason. That's why these guys are getting exposed so much. Teo and Leao are getting exposed so much for their lack of just overall IQ because they didn't have to worry about that when we had Kessie and Tonali. That's
not
why
about-
I asked. That's why I asked. How come Fofana is unable to give that same thing to our wingbacks?
Because you're asking Fofana to cover for
To
the left
do-
side.
to do
No,
what
but you're
Kessie
a-
and Tonali does.
No, but you can't ask Fofana to cover
so then you
for the
can't say
left
this team
side.
Okay, go. Sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. You can't ask. I'm sorry. I like. By the way, I like to argue, so like, there's no.
No. You're good. You're good.
I just, to me, I'm like again with Musa, like against Parma, we asked him to be the DM, and Reinders was the other side, and Musa like literally afterwards like, oh, I had no idea what I was supposed to do, and it's like,
yeah,
it's
because
bad.
none of them are. They're all box to box midfielders. None
But
of
I
them
don't
are
think it's just.
DMs.
It's not just about them. I don't think like. By the way, Kessie wasn't a defensive midfielder when we got him.
He
was
was
supposed to
center
be-
mid.
He was supposed to be like a box to box type, and then like we had to be like, yo, Kessie, you're not that guy. Like you're not Ruud Gullit. That's not you. So when we simplified his role as well, that's when he succeeded. And in the Scudetto year, he was actually pretty bad for a long part of it, and he closed out strong. So to me, I look at it as, yes, do we miss Tonali? Of course we do. Do we miss Benacer not being destroyed by injuries? Yes. But to me, I think the fact of the matter is that there's just such levels of disorganization to our team that nobody knows what their assignments are, what they're supposed to be doing. And I think that shows. It shows very, very strongly. I have to step aside for a second, but yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Listen, my opinion. All right, you fix this. I thought about this very carefully, very carefully. If you actually want to have a chance of winning this year, this is my opinion, and I'm 100% convinced in my opinion about this. You have to go to a 5-3-2, and that will give you the chance to uh, at least win the Scudetto. You have three defenders and three midfielders, and the wing backs cover both of the defensive line and the midfield line, and you only have two strikers, so you have to sacrifice a striker. So you're only going to be playing with Leao and Abraham. Then the other guys, Pulisic is sitting on the bench, Chukwueze is sitting on the bench, but what you have are the midfielders that are going to be the wall in the middle, the fullbacks that are going to cover those spaces on the wide, and then the three at the back that are going to provide that solid defensive. And that will give you a chance to win the Scudetto because you're not going to get scored on much playing like that. That's my opinion, and I'm ready to down that hill. What do you guys think? Any disagreements or agreements?
Mm, I I think if we do that by 5-3-2, that's the same formation as Inter, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, but then really
Yeah,
until
yeah,
then
exactly.
still,
Inter's formation. Exactly.
yeah. The only problem with that
Well,
is
but that's only on defense, though. Inter's formation is a three-man defense, not a five-man defense.
Well,
yeah,
but
when
I
it's
mean,
three.
the fullbacks go all the way back down. Like they like when Inter's defending, when they're defense, they have a line of five. But
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
those two guys go up. They're going to attack. Dumfries and Dimarco are pretty much your wingers, but they're going to clog up the wide space when the team is in a defensive posture. But I'm saying like that, not with Theo Hernandez that does the whole line, and whoever can. Salamakers would have been the perfect guy. That's what Roma is doing right now, actually, with Salamakers. Or Calabria plays the whole line, and then you have three solid midfielders, two attackers, and you cover. There's no space.
I mean,
There's
that's what
no
Arsenal
space.
does. What you're asking for is what Arteta does with Arsenal, where he took Ben White and now he's just like made it all the way where he puts Calafiori as the left back, and then so he's basically playing four center backs across the back line, and he's creating incredible solidity because he wants to like grind out games when he needs to. But I mean, we could have done that. Mota does that, where he's putting Kalulu as a right back, who's not like pushing forward. It's more like it morphs from a back four to a back three when needed. Like this is why I don't think it's about coaching here. Like, and think about it. You didn't have to pay 15 million for Emerson. You could have kept Kalulu, and we never tried him in that spot, which is infuriating, by the way. Like and then we gave him to such like beneficial terms to Juventus. Like to me, it's that's why I don't put as much fault on the players. Like you have to put players in a position to succeed, and we consistently don't. That's my view.
I
Listen,
don't believe so.
let me just say this, Abdi, then go ahead.
Yeah,
I think this was another example of total mismanagement because we know, like, I don't, we know. Okay, let's not say we know, but we've seen Fonseca do this exact same thing that he's doing right now and then go three at the back. That's what he did with Roma. He's probably going to do the same thing right now. And Kalulu, if you're going to go three at the back, having Kalulu there is fucking gold,
Hmm.
and you gave him away. So when Fonseca is going to go at three at the back, if he does that, people are going to be talking about how idiotic they were for selling Kalulu.
I mean, our team isn't even our team is not. They have no. Again, Musa admitted he had no idea what he was supposed to do. That's fucking crazy to me. That a player can like admit, yo, I didn't know when I was supposed to press. I didn't know, like, you can see like that clip that's going around about Parma playing beautiful. You see Musa coming all the way from his side to try and like interact, try and be some sort of shield. He had no idea what he was doing. We are so disorganized. So for me, it's like if you go to a back three, then the danger is, do we even have enough center backs right now? Like right now, do we have enough center backs to even play that formation consistently?
yeah,
That's that's my fear,
yeah,
because you only have four real center backs. Otherwise, you're bringing in Bartasagi and Tiao. Like Chao's hurt, so then you have Gabia, Tomori, and Pavlovic. So you have four center backs And what are you going to do? And we spent a lot of money on Emerson. So it's like, and Terechanu is just trash. Like, he's
Mm,
trash. So it's like,
mm,
and we
I
don't
think you
have
make.
enough
I think you make.
midfielders. Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah, I think you make a good point with that. As in order to play three at the back, you have to have three available defenders at each time consistently on a consistent basis, which I don't think we have because we know Chiao is a injury liability. Pavlovich can get over
Oh,
uh,
Cho. I forgot about
overburnt.
Cho.
Yeah, so I don't think that we have enough defenders to play a three back all the time, but that's for the manager to think about. And on the point of Terracciano being trash, I think he's the better out of the trash on the right back.
Well,
I
I
think
think
he's better than
actually
Royale.
Terracciano. I think Terracciano at three of the back on the right might be a better position for him.
He's so
Mm,
positionally poor. I'm sorry. I'd rather play Jimenez. I'd rather play Jimenez than him. Like Terechanu, his. By the way, he's so much bigger than I thought. I remember seeing him. I don't remember him being that big. Like, he's huge. He's physically ridiculous. But he. When I watch him play, I can't believe he's Italian because he's tactically so poor. I'm I like he
Defensively, he's
makes
solid.
Terechanu.
Yes,
Oh
he
my
made
gosh, no
he made
way.
no, he made some great interceptions against Lazio. I'm sorry, but when I compare him to Royale and Calabria, I think he's the better of the bunch.
No way.
Mm,
Better than
Calabria is
Calabria?
better.
genuinely.
Calabria
Better
is
than
better than
Calabria?
Terracciano.
Nah,
It's
Guys,
not even
Calabria is
listen,
close.
listen. As much as we
Calabria is
want to hate on Calabria is the best one there. You know, I
no,
don't
no
know.
way.
I don't know how what that says, but the
Yeah,
best
yeah.
right back in the team is Calabria.
No,
Yeah.
I think he's the
Yeah, I
second
think
best.
so. No, I
Who's
think
better
so.
than him?
No, I think Terracciano is better than him because Terracciano
Oh,
he knows that he can't attack, so therefore he doesn't go forward.
He
But
goes
what he does
forward
do
all
is
the time. Dude,
mm,
he goes forward all the time.
I can only remember one good passage of play he had from the left back position. But defensive, if you talk about defensively, he is the best there.
He gets
Ca-
beat all the time.
Calabria gets burnt numerous times. I've had enough of seeing Calabria.
but
Royale is
we
surplus to
also.
requirements.
Sorry, go
Those
ahead.
two are garbage. I'd say invest in Terracciano and Jimenez and see what
Yeah,
happens
but
from there.
we've already gone over this already. The only reason why, and the same thing for Teo, the reason why these guys are always getting beat is because one on one, no one is like Maldini in them. Like, we're past that point. That's why Solid Makers was so important because he would double team. That's why Kessie was and Tonali were so important
Yep,
because they would
exactly.
help double team. There is not a single wingback in the world right now that is confidently good one on one on a consistent basis. They all need help. So to say that
Hmm.
Calabria is trash, you can only say that because he gets zero help. He's isolated every single game. It's the same thing with Teo. Teo gets beaten one on one from a standstill
Yeah.
every single time, but he's being left on an island without help.
I mean, any defender one on one can get beat. I mean, it's just gonna happen. I think it's the difference. I think when we were playing with Kessie and Tonali, our best games, like the difference between the way that we played when we made that run to the Champions League semifinal and the way that we played in the league was very different. Like, we played very differently. We played in a formation. Either we played kind of like a 3-5-2 against Tottenham in that first round, and then against Napoli, we played our Scudetto
Four, three,
formation.
three. Yeah.
We
Oh,
played the Scudetto
oh yeah,
formation,
yeah.
like that same
Yeah.
style. So it's like, and we smashed Napoli, and that was Napoli, the best team that they've had in 30 something years. So it's like, to me, I look at it as that's why for me the focus is so strongly on tactics. And I know I'm like a broken record, but like that to me is like, I'm a tactical freak. Like, that's what I think about all day. Like, I'm a loser, but like, and I played when I was younger. I'm old now, but like, I'm younger. When I was younger, I played, and like my coaches were all Italian, and all they like that's all they talk to you about is tactics, 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 tactics. So to me, I just look at the level of like, watch Motta play or watch Deserbi teams play or shit. Just like even Torino. Torino, when we played them, how much
Or
better
Parma.
organized were they? They were there. It's a completely different universe. It's crazy how big the gap is in our organization, to me. Like, that to me is crazy.
Yeah, I mean the team is run by amateurs pretty much,
Yeah.
and that's what you get. You get these amateurish results, amateurish looks. Um, yeah, it's yeah. Yep, yep, yep. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? All we can do is just watch it happen in real time and soak it in.
Sorry, someone asked a question. Do you mind if I answer this question
Yeah,
from the
go ahead,
chat?
go ahead.
When did I become a Milan fan? When I was a child in the 90s. I'm old. I'm not that old. I'm like 37, 38. But my favorite Milan player overall, dang, that's really tough. I mean, I want to say, I mean, Maldini's obviously the easy one to say, but like, there's just so many players. I can't even pick one. Like, honestly, I can't pick one. But I've been a Milan fan since I was a little kid in the 90s. My best friend's Italian, so he likes Juventus, but he doesn't really care about football anymore. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, yeah,
but
listen. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
no, no,
Finish.
no. I've been a Milan fan since I was a kid. I learned English in American schools. I'm from a foreign country, foreign countries, whatever, you know. So yeah, just answering that question. My bad.
Nice, nice. Did you guys see the Juventus game today?
Who
Yeah,
won?
it was 0-0. I mean,
Zero
to be
zero.
honest, it wasn't. I don't think. I think Dusan Vlahovic looked like shit. To be honest, I think he messed up. But I think what Malta does is he prioritizes possession over everything. Like, and it's to the point where it's like it can become across as like slow and like very deliberate. Like, I think that with Bologna, like he was able to do that because teams were much more willing to attack. And I think with Juventus, you're gonna have to be more on the front foot. So I think that his transition from Bologna to Juventus is going to be like
It's going to be a bumpy road.
it's going to be a bumpy road. It is. And
Yeah,
I think that's
for
why De
sure.
Zerbi looks like, because De Zerbi's tactics are like designed for your team to be on the front point and to have the, but I think Juventus looks so much better organized than we do. Like Kalulu
Yeah,
looked like he knew what he was doing, what he had to do. Like like their roles were kept simple, but he kept on moving around. Like the level of organizational difference was huge.
you can tell, and you can tell how Empoli, when Empoli was playing, trying to get to Juventus' side of the field, it's difficult. They have to go in, they got to go out, they got to
Hmm.
try. It's not just get the ball 1-2, you're through. It's there's always someone chasing you. The spaces are not open. You get pressed. There's a certain energy. Now Juventus doesn't look special, to be honest with you, on the ball. Like today, they didn't look great. It wasn't anything impressive. By the way,
Totally.
the Empoli goalkeeper, who was the Milan player,
Oh yeah.
Vasquez, got the MVP of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the organization is definitely there for sure. You can definitely
The
see it.
difference is huge. Like like it's gonna take time. Like that's the difference. Like I think when people are like, "Oh, give Fonseca time," I'm all for giving a new manager time. But it's like, fine, Malta has 2 draws in a row, not great, fine. But it's like you can see what he's doing. You can see the imprint of the manager already. Like Ange Postecoglou at Tottenham, he took over, automatic difference. We played Torino. They have a new manager. They're not. They Torino didn't play like they didn't try and shit house. Torino played against us. That's what made me so sad about that first game. And I don't see any imprint on Fonseca. Like I don't even see what Fonseca did at Shakhtar or Lille coming over here. You know?
Honestly, listen, I don't know this, but because this would be something new to me. One thing that I have realized, which is very strange, is the intensity of the team, and it's been since day one. Remember the first game? That was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what? Or was it the second game? No, it was the second game against Torino. Against Torino, yes.
Mm.
Or was it the first game? I can't remember. But anyway, the team had played with absolutely no energy, just no energy, no intensity, and that hasn't really changed. Even today, you can argue, well, the team was already winning, but still, there's a lack of intensity. And I don't know if that's going to continue and if that is an imprint of Fonseca's work. Because if that is an imprint of Fonseca's work, then forget about it. Then it's really over.
I think if the rumors are true that everybody hates him, I mean that's the rumor that the whole like just everybody hates Fonseca. If that's true, then we're in deep trouble, because at that point it doesn't matter what your tactics are. It doesn't matter how great of a tactician you are and you're the greatest coach. If your players don't believe in you and don't like you, like, it's just, that's bad. That's like really, really bad.
So, what do you make out of those rumors? What do you make out of them?
I think they're true, to be honest. I think, unfortunately, I think they're true. I think that, the players, like, I think they're gonna play for each other. Like, I know this is kind of dumb, and I know, like, to like look at this, but like, Rafael just put out like a tweet with, like, real one, and he tagged Teo, and it's a picture of him and Teo. It's like they're playing for each other, So it's like, and I don't think Fonseca was hated before he got hired. I think he took the job, and then he's a dick, and nobody believe. Like, dude, have you
Oh,
guys seen
wait,
the clip?
is he a
Sorry.
dick or is he just not the commander in chief they want?
My view is, I don't think they believe in his ideas. I don't think he has the personality to command. Like, leadership takes a skill. Like, listen to managers talk about Mourinho. They're like, "Oh, I'll run through a wall for Mourinho. Like, I'll die for Mourinho," right? Or like, have you guys seen like the clip of Kevin Prince Boateng talking about De Zerbi? Like, De Zerbi, like, Kevin Prince talks about, he's like, "I loved him. Like, the best manager I ever had. He's going to be amazing." And it's like, or if you listen to people talk about Klopp, like these people are amazing managers because they connect with, like, their players. I think the only player who's a shitty man manager is Pep Guardiola, and that's because he's been at teams where if he doesn't like a player, he can get rid of him. Like at Man City, if someone gives him shit, I'll sell you and I'll buy somebody better. He can do that shit. And he's a great coach. But what I'm saying is that, like, most managers, everyone has to believe, you have to work as a team. And bro, I think Fonseca, like, what was he doing? He tried to show that he was the man by dropping Teo and Leao.
Ooh, what a bad move.
It was the worst move.
What?
What?
If it worked,
No, no,
I-
I still
No,
think it's
man.
the correct move.
No, at
I
the
still
time it
think
was
it's the
right.
correct move.
no,
Yeah.
I disagree. It only would have, if you won without them, then yeah. But the problem is that he needed them. He needed them to salvage a point. That's the problem. And I think by dropping them and by the way, Ruben Loftus-Cheek was shit for all those games beforehand too, and he didn't get dropped either. So if you're Leao and you're like, okay, so it's all on me. Ruben walks around and doesn't do shit, and it's on my head that we did poorly against Parma. It's my fault. Musa, like if you're Teo and Leao and you're like, I'm getting all the smoke, like, I think the smarter thing would have done, which Fonseca tried to do, by the way. He was like, "Oh, well, Teo wasn't fit. It was my fault." No, he didn't even say my fault. He's like, he wasn't fit and he played. If Fonseca, what I think Mourinho would have done, Mourinho would have been like, he would have made a distraction. And by the way, I don't like Mourinho, but I respect him. Mourinho makes distractions so that everybody talks about him instead of his players, and his players love him for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's about the psychological aspect,
protects
and
the players,
Fonseca
yeah.
doesn't know how to handle that shit. That's the truth.
Yeah, but guys, we gotta remember this is still all fantasy land. Like, eventually, these players got to come into the real world as well, too. And in the real world, this is what happens when you don't perform correctly. Like you can't just make exceptions just because.
But Fonseca's
because-
not performing. What is he like? If you're the manager and Fonseca doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. Like, he doesn't
What?
look like he knows what he's
Nah.
doing.
I
So,
think,
like,
listen, one thing real fast. I think that the players feel a downgrade in the coaching staff, in the coaching methods. I feel like they
and
perceive
we
a
agree
downgrade.
with that. We agree with that, but still, at the same time, no matter how incompetent someone is, if someone is above you and they're supposed to be the one making the decisions, you can't throw temper tantrums. Like, you can't do that.
but they
Like,
didn't.
bro,
They got dropped and shit on by their manager. I don't think
and
Carlo
then-
Ancelotti would have done
They
that.
get subbed in, and then during the water break, which is essentially a team huddle, they don't come and join the team. That is throwing a temper tantrum.
Salah
There's no
did that.
other way.
Other
And
players
it's a
have
temper. It's a temper tantrum still. Even it doesn't matter who it is. It's still a temper tantrum.
Mm.
You don't do that in the real world. You get fucked up. But because this
Yeah.
is football, things don't work the same way. Bro, I
Yeah.
wish on everything on my life when I was in the army, I could have done the same thing without getting punished. But I would have been fucked up.
So
Plain and simple.
I work in an office where temper tantrums are common. So
I get that. I get that. But
I have a
bro,
boss who thinks that he's Ari Gold and he's not. So I hope he's not watching. But he's not.
and I get it. But again, you can't do that stuff.
I don't think it was. I think it was Fonseca's fault for trying to challenge them. Like, why go with the stick before the carrot?
Dude, bro, these
Like,
guys are
why-
gonna carry.
no.
Why
These
go
are the
dis-
guys. Listen.
Why
listen.
go discipline?
If
Why?
I'm Fonseca, I'm looking at Theo Lau, and I'm looking. These are the two guys that are gonna fucking carry me this whole season. I'm gonna treat them like they're fucking kings and queens over here.
Nah.
No. Listen, look.
Give them the keys, dude. That's how you
Start
do it.
with. Why don't you start with kindness before you go with the discipline? Why go to discipline?
Or the players can start with professionalism, so
It's
that
not
way
a-
it doesn't get to this point.
Why
It
isn't
is,
Fonseca?
bro.
Yeah.
No. But why isn't Fonseca lacking professionalism when he is going to
Bro.
when?
Who is the coach?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look.
Who is the coach, bro? I hate Fonseca. I wish he was not here.
What?
But who is the coach?
Fonseca.
Bro, you don't get to make
I don't hate
rules,
Fonseca,
bro. I
guys.
don't know what to
I have
tell
no
you.
hate
Like,
for
you don't get
Fonseca.
to
Oh,
make
you can't.
rules. You're the player, not the coach.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if your
okay.
coach is a moron, why are you going to
He
follow
is.
him?
What?
He is a moron.
Nah,
But it doesn't matter.
guys,
It doesn't matter,
that's
bro.
our
It doesn't
management.
matter.
All right, listen. Can we agree though that ethically, sporting speakingly, it's a bad look that Hernandez and Lau didn't go and
No, I don't think I don't think so because
You
Fonseca
don't
said
think it's
it.
a bad look?
Because they just came on at that point, so they didn't need the water break.
But
If you think about it,
Fonseca,
and he said everything was
Fonseca's
alright.
saying that because he's shitting in his pants.
I don't think it's a good look, but
So
I
no
don't
problem
think
then.
it's as big of a deal as everyone made it
Yeah.
out to be. I don't like
Exactly.
players like Gattuso used to freak out at Carlo all the time. I prefer Carlo Ancelotti's style, where it's like, hey, I'm going to Carlo defends his players, and that's why they fight for him, and that's a big thing. Like where we work is not the same.
Carlo has a much Carlo in the locker room is like the same thing as having Zidane in the locker room as your teammate. Carlo and Fonseca are two different things.
Exactly. So
Teo and Leao knew that Fonseca is already having uphill battle. He's already not really well liked. So if you're the team leaders and you know it's already an uphill battle, bro, you shouldn't act like that, bro.
if you're making it an uphill battle because you're a bad leader, like that's Fonseca's fault as a manager. The fact that
I agree.
the
but
fact that the
players did
manager
not
was
help
not
the
did-
situation.
But the thing is, like, leadership is about the psychological game and the ability to get your players to believe in you. And if Fonseca doesn't know how to do that, then he's bad at his job.
I 110% agree with you.
Hold
but
on.
still,
In
the
all fairness,
players need
not
to do
necessarily
their
bad,
part.
not qualified. Not qualified.
If
Yeah, I'll
Fonseca
say that
won
as well,
shit,
not qualified.
if Fonseca won shit, then they would be dealing with him differently. So the thing is, and he hasn't. So it's like the way I look at it is, I don't think I don't think it was a good thing that they did that. To be honest, it was kind of childish, and I understand why they did it. My view is Fonseca made a mistake by allowing that situation to exist, by dropping them, and by he's making a statement. And
Yeah.
if you're losing, you don't win. Ten Hag did the same thing, and he looks like a fool now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it only is discipline only works if you win. If you lose, then it's stupid. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so I see what
But
you're
the
saying.
thing is,
And listen. When you have superstars in the team, you don't make examples of them.
Are they superstars?
They're Milan
No,
superstars.
they're not.
Yeah, for Milan.
Well,
They're
then
super-
okay. Well, then
Leao's a superstar.
There's another
one of the most popular players
They're
right now.
Milan's.
There's another problem right there.
They are
These
Milan's
guys, no,
superstars.
These guys
No,
think
no,
they're
look.
superstars.
But hold on.
have
But if you're the
superstar-
coach, Leao and Hernandez and Mike Mañana are three superstars. Like you know they are. No.
They definitely are.
No.
You don't think so?
A superstar is Mo Salah. Mo Salah is a superstar.
All right. That's a
Mo
super
Salah
duper
freaked
star.
out on Klopp.
That's a super
He's freaked
duper
out on
star.
Klopp many times.
Lamine Yamal is a superstar, and he is head and shoulders mentally above Teo Leao by many levels.
What are you talking? We don't
But-
know
but
that.
hold on.
We don't know that. He's just a
but-
kid. Like, what happens when he has
But
a
aside from the personalities, it's really you need them to give you results. You need them to work for you. So
Yeah.
they want to be inspired to work for you. So
Okay,
when you
but-
want to make an example out of them, when they know that they're the guys that are going to carry you, it's like you're doing the wrong thing. You're
I'm
losing.
sorry,
them
but
like
they
that.
came into this season with very indifferent attitudes.
I don't
They
think so. I
did.
think they were just tired. I think if you look at so many, they just played the Euros. They went pretty deep in them. Like these players, and by the way, Fonseca said that. Like he said that after he shit on the players after we lost to Parma. He goes, "I take all the responsibility." Then he just shit on the players. Players don't like that. No one's gonna play for you if you're just saying, "I take responsibility," and then just shit on the players. And then he said afterwards, he's like, "Teo wasn't fit," and if you, that's what he should have led with. He should have been like, hey, I asked, Teo didn't play well today, but it's my fault as the manager because he wasn't fit for it. He didn't have a preseason. He was tired. He came back from the Euros. It's my that's leadership. He doesn't have leadership.
So what you're saying is because he wasn't fit, he couldn't be bothered to run back on defense.
You
I'm sorry.
defend people. You
I'm
defend
sorry.
people.
It
You
was
defend
not-
people.
I'm sorry.
Listen, guys.
Their actions told me that they were just not upset, and they were going to publicly show that they were upset by doing goofy shit like that, by not working hard. I don't care if you have a shit game, but if you don't work hard, that's all we even ask for, just to work hard. If you can't even work hard, no.
Okay,
sorry.
one
That's amazing.
game. Okay, now let's throw away Teo Hernandez because he had a bad game against Parma. Okay,
I didn't say throw them away, but you gotta let people know that just
No,
because
guys,
if the discipline only works, listen, he has no alternatives except for, look, honestly, there is no backup left back for Teo Hernandez. If you want to drop Leao, then you go with Okafor, fine. If Fonseca wants to do that and lose, go ahead. But quite frankly, just from like a tactical position, like just life, Fonseca is dropping Teo Hernandez, who's his only actual left back, and he thinks that's a good idea after he had a bad game.
But imagine if you're a new coach and you know people are struggling to like you, and the two people you're supposed to rely on are the ones who are giving you the most problems.
They're struggling to like him because he doesn't have the personality. If he had the personality and dealt with them, like he's the one at fault.
You should lead by example, and they don't lead by.
They did. They came on and they made sure that we got a point against Lazio. Actually, they showed up Fonseca. They literally came on the field and were awesome immediately.
I have a question.
That's the response they're supposed to give, but they still their attitudes are just poor.
Listen.
Congratulations, you did your job.
Let's see Fonseca do but again, there's a way to extract performance out of Abdi. I'm sorry. There's a way to extract performance, and I don't think what Fonseca did was long term. It was a terrible idea.
Yeah,
why don't you
terrible.
go and be like, hey? Why don't you just if I'm Fonseca, I'll finish and then I'm sorry, Abdi. I'm like, if I'm Fonseca after the Parma game, I would defend my players. And then I would say, look, Teo, Leao, I need you. Like, without you guys, we're finished. You're the most important players in the world. You're the best. Hold on. Obviously not. And so then if they go against Lazio, right, and shit goes bad, then you can drop them. Then you can show them what's up.
You don't need to have that conversation.
You don't even need game in the season, you're going discipline already? That's bad.
So you said you don't think they've had this conversation. How come the players themselves didn't just take it upon themselves to have that conversation? Why not? You're the two leaders. I'm going to take it upon myself to welcome the new coach into the team, and we're going to talk about expectations of what should happen. How come they didn't do it?
How do you know that they didn't? I don't know.
But you just told me that they didn't have the conversation.
They obviously they what I'm saying is Fonseca. No, hold on. Actually, you're misunderstanding. What it is I'm saying that after the Parma game, what Fonseca did, he didn't put his arm around these players. He shit on them publicly. Number one. Number two, he dropped them to be some sort of disciplinarian, and then he needed their help in order to get a point against a shitty Lazio team. So Fonseca put himself in this position unnecessarily. That's what I'm saying. If you're dating a girl and after just the third date you're already talking about ultimatums, it's probably not a great relationship. So if
Well,
Fonseca
if that girl doesn't pay attention to you, doesn't cook for you, doesn't do anything but be on her phone, then yeah, ultimatums need to be fucking talked about. Then I guess.
well,
What the
then
fuck?
maybe you're
no.
not. Maybe you're not charming enough because she's looking at her phone. If you're charming
Okay,
enough,
okay,
Then
all right,
there
guys.
Now
but
we're- now
listen,
we're
listen.
extending.
Hold on,
Then
hold
there
on.
needs to be ultimatums.
Listen,
I'm
listen.
just saying, discipline that early in the season. The discipline that I just think it's too early. It's too early to go like to drop players.
But
If you're
but you
dropping
don't even
players
need
that
to
easy,
do that. You don't
that's what
need
I'm
to.
saying.
You don't need to. You don't need to make an example out of him. You don't need to have any conversations with him. It's early in the season.
And
What you do is you play them so they get match fitness. You don't make
yeah,
an
okay,
example out of them. But you need to play
look,
them.
look.
Now,
For
now
me,
listen.
yeah.
Last
Hold on, wait.
another question here. But
Go
let me
on.
ask you guys a
Hold
question.
on. Abby has been trying to speak on this. Let him speak on
Yeah.
that first, real quick.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, you don't reward shit performances, no matter what. For Theo and Liao, their standards are much higher than the rest, if you think about it. So for Fonseca to drop them, he's the manager. He can do what he wants. So for me, it's not an argument. And if Liao and Theo throw a tantrum, that's up to them. But for that Parma game, Theo, what's his name? His mistakes led to goals. Liao had many chances and missed. So they had an impact on the game themselves. So therefore, if he's removing them for the next game, you have to accept it. There's no if buts and maybes.
But
He's
then
the
that
manager.
has to be the standard for every player. Every time a player has a
No,
bad game,
No,
no,
but you have
but
to
you
win.
yeah.
You
Hold
can't
on.
do that. You can't do that.
We
You
hold
can't.
superstars to a higher level? Yes or no?
yes.
Yeah, we do, but we
Yes,
also treat them
yes.
differently. They get
Okay,
treated
then.
differently. I mean, that's the other thing.
So that's the whole point. If you need to set the tone. This goes. If you set the tone with the best players, the rest are gonna follow suit. Because if Liao and Teo can get dropped for playing like shit, for having poor attitudes, my ass definitely is gonna get fucking dropped if I ain't at tip top form.
That's great, but the problem is that in order for that message to actually ring true, you can't rely on you should be like, listen, if they won the game against Lazio convincingly without Teo and Leao, I think Fonseca would be in a much stronger position. The problem is that his gamble, because it was a gamble, it didn't work. Like, it fell apart. After the first half, I'm pretty sure Fonseca was like, I'm this shit. Fuck you guys. I know what I'm doing, right? And then after 5 seconds, he concedes 2 goals and he needs Teo and Leao to save him. That's the problem.
Well, then you think about this. Then because of the way that Teo and Leao's attitude and performances were, they're the ones who cost the team. Because
how did they cost the team against Lazio?
Because if they were at least playing hard, they would have played and started the game. But because you want to play, because you want to be shit and you have a shit attitude, you are costing the team by not being on the field.
The only goal we scored against Parma was because of Teo and Leao. I mean, think about that. The only reason why we scored against... So if you're Leao, you're like, I did some magic shit out of my ass in order for us to get a goal against Parma. Fine. Then the question becomes, if you're Fonseca and you need these players strategically, why are you going the discipline route this early? Again, it only works if they won against Lazio.
It's better to do it earlier than have this problem later on. What if we had this problem later on and we're running in for the title? You don't want this problem then. You want it now.
He's made things worse by doing this now. So what do you want? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he made things worse. We're probably not going to go for the title because he's already poisoned the environment by doing this. I don't think the idea of discipline. Like, sometimes you just like there's carrots and sticks.
Listen, I've coached a lot of teams, and I'm telling you, some players, you can be a mean piece of shit with them, and that's what works. Some other players, you just have to let him be, and just talk to them with respect, and that works. But if you do the wrong thing, if the Gattuso, you treat him with respect and talk him like a normal person, he won't respect you. You have to match his energy, and you have to talk like him, and you have to be even more aggressive than him for him to respect you. But the other guys, the guys that, especially the superstars, the guys that know that they're the ones that make the difference, you have to be really careful with how you treat those guys, because if you lose those guys, then that's it. You're done. Those are the guys that are going to carry you. If they're not going to be playing for you, then you're fucked. You're screwed.
Yeah, but they're not. They weren't playing for Fonseca since the beginning,
It was one game.
bro. One game. This is our first win, bro. The
What I'm saying,
performances.
but again, why isn't Fonseca at fault for these performances?
No one's saying that they're not, but we're saying
He's
players
not.
have also got to be held to
But
accountability as well too.
wait, my question is, why is everyone so critical? It's just the start of the season. It, I see so much negativity even from what's his name, the gentleman here that has the Z icon. I don't understand why it's so negative,
I'll tell you why I'm
so
negative.
critical
I'm,
about
you know
so
why?
critical
I'll
about
tell you why.
Fonseca already.
I'll tell you why. I'm negative because I'm scared. Because I think that I really like a lot of these players, and I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back into the banter era. I don't want to have a season where we're outside of the Champions League, where then we're going to have to start firing. We're going to have to start selling players even more. I don't trust this management on the sporting side of things. To let's say we sold Leao for 175, I don't trust them to spend 175 in a way that would replace him or make the team better. To be honest, so for me, I look at it as I really, I've grown attached to this team. Like probably like that Scudetto that we won. I've watched Champions Leagues
Yeah,
that we've won. Like I grew up on that. But to me, I'm very, very attached to this group of guys, and I think that they genuinely love this club. So for me, um, I look at it as I'm afraid to lose this crop. I'm afraid that that a shit season with Fonseca and a shit season like this will mean that we lose Teo, that we lose Leao, that we lose Mike, that we lose these players, and I don't trust the management to be able to reset. I want to win with these guys, like I really, really do. So for me, um, I look at it as um, I'm scared about what the damage that will be done to this team. I mean, the damage that was done by firing Maldini, I think, is very obvious. And people who were cheering that on and who were very pro firing Maldini, and I think they we're seeing now what happens when you don't have Maldini. Like Maldini was there every single day. He did so much work on like the man management side that I don't think Fonseca's he's obviously not doing a good enough job on that. So for me, I look at it as I'm afraid. So that pessimism isn't it's fear. It's a genuine fear because I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to banter. I don't want to
You
go back to. I thought we were under Maldini. We were like you can look at it. We were consistently building something. So
yeah.
it's like that's where it comes from. That's where that negativity comes from.
For
So
me,
yeah.
look, I even listen. I look at it a little bit differently. I don't even look at it as being negative. It's just what I'm reading, right? And I'm just being honest with what I'm reading. And that's really what everybody is doing here. Like we're seeing it and we're describing what we're seeing. And you just know that when certain things go in a certain way, you cannot achieve the results that you want. In order to be Milan, you have to be a super well oiled machine in all fronts, from the ownership to the management to the coaches to the staff to the players. To be Milan is very difficult. No, it's not, anybody can't just do it. You got to be very good at what you do. And unfortunately, the people that are doing Milan right now are not that good. So it's not. It's being real here. It's being real. Like, what do you expect? That things are just going to magically come together, Abdi?
you just have to give the person time. Look with Arsenal, they had to endure years of rubbish, and now look, they're challenging for titles. They have a strong team. You have to trust the process sometimes.
I
It's
think
not
the
always
difference
going to be
is.
flat. Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I'm sorry. No, no, no.
Yeah, look, it's not always going to be flowers, and I think as a supporter, you have to endure through the rough times. And this isn't even as rough as what I thought it would be. This is only the first what 4 games. We finally got a win, and we can build off that. And now we have a good couple of games where we'll be able to gauge the team and see where they are.
Okay,
So I
so
don't
if we
understand all the
lose
doom and
these
gloom.
next few games, how
Yeah.
will your mentality of this change?
Ah, no. because it's
because
only
now we're
the
up
first half
against
of the
real.
season.
We're gonna be up against real teams. So, like, we got outclassed by small teams. So now that we're up against a real team.
We'll see. Maybe we might unjustly lose. You never know. Maybe we might have an identity all of a sudden.
No,
So
no, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
obviously the opposite can happen for sure. But I'm
yeah.
saying, if it doesn't happen, are you going to change your mind?
No, I don't think so. Because for me, when a manager comes in, there has to be a honeymoon period, and for me, the honeymoon period is the first half of the
And
season
if
until
and if there isn't a
December.
honeymoon period, if we have another John Paulo
No, no, no,
period,
no. The honeymoon period is this summer. And that summer there was no honeymoon
No,
period. People were like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Why are we getting Fonseca?" And then you give the coaches time. But no, sorry, keep on
I,
going, man.
I think trusting the process worked with Arsenal because they were already shit, and so they were building. So they got eighth, and they won a cup, which helped them. But the players were on board, the management was on board, and people could see what he was doing. I think with Fonseca, we're seeing Giampaolo levels of incompetence, to be honest. And by the way, Giampaolo hired by Maldini, but he understood that it was a mistake and he fired him pretty quick. So what I'm saying is, but the difference is that Maldini was taking the team that was outside of the Champions League for years, and
Yeah,
he was trying to build it back up.
bro,
This
he
team
was
that
going all the
Fonseca,
way, dude. He was going
exactly,
all the way, man.
and
All the way.
Fonseca,
Yeah,
yeah, and Fonseca is what is he doing? He is yes, Arteta had shit years, but what I'm saying is that Fonseca, what did he have? He inherited a very this is a good team. It got second last year, right? But it was distant, but we're talking about a top 4 team. We're talking about a
yeah,
team.
but we got to be realistic. We got second for sure, but those other teams fell badly.
Okay. So why should top 4 be a struggle for this team?
It will be a struggle
Should it be?
if all the teams. Yeah, actually, yes.
Oh my
If
god.
all the teams like played as they're supposed to play, top 4 will be a struggle.
I this team should be comfortably in the top 4 with with the talent it has. Comfortably.
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
Napoli also, with the talent they had, should not have played the way that they played as well either. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
And that's what happens when you get a you that's when you have a terrible coach and terrible management. Like De Laurentiis is the reason why Napoli didn't win probably more than they should have. In the 2010s they had ridiculous teams and he was the problem consistently. Like interfering with players, getting into fights with players, like ruining his own teams. And he finally won a Scudetto after 30
yeah,
something years
but it will
and
be
he
difficult to win anything with the midfield that we have. Like, we have no ball winners. Like, we conceded the most goals I've ever seen us concede in a season. And our midfield is a huge, huge, huge component of that. Like, we are not going to do anything with this midfield. Even if we switch to a 4-3-3, it certainly will help.
I
But
think
we're not
yeah,
winning
I
anything
agree.
with this midfield.
Inter's midfielders, if you told Milan fans that we were going to get Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who most Milan fans hated, by the way, when before he left, okay, and Henrik Mkhitaryan, who everyone tries to like, it's so funny when people try and spell his name. Anyway, um, those are and Acerbi. None of those, no Milan fans are going to look at those players and be like, oh, they're great. And I think Inter shows, and under Simone Inzaghi shows you the difference between a team that's organized and a team that's not.
Bro, but
Okay,
you just
okay,
mentioned
but
you just
listen, but
mentioned
that's a lot
offensive.
of
Hold on,
Milan
hold on,
fans
hold
that
on,
are
hold
not
on.
very smart, though. Like, not
That
everybody's in that
that
category.
and other than a Cherby, you just mentioned offensive players. I said we don't have ball winners, my boy. We don't
Who's the
have
ball
ball
winner?
winners.
Who's the ball winner in Inter's midfield of midfield 3? Who's the ball winner?
Barella, but
They don't need one.
But that's what like they have Barella, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, and Henrik Mkhitaryan. None of
Yeah,
those
but they
3.
also had what's his name,
Brozovic.
Brozovic. Yeah,
Yeah,
Brozovic
but
was
then
a
but
huge
they got
component.
better after selling him. So my question is like they don't have like it's to me it's like tactics, tactics, tactics. Because like to me it's like you look at Inter's midfield, there's no actual ball winner there.
Yeah, they
There's
do.
no there
Barella's a bowler.
is he really though?
Yeah,
Come
he
on.
is. He's one of the best.
He's a good player. No, I'm not saying he's not a good player. What I'm saying is, do you think if we put Barella in our midfield, suddenly he's like the Kessie replacement?
If we if we had Barella and Tonali in this midfield, bruh.
You're talking about two players. That's not what I'm talking about.
my
You said Barella. If we have Barella only with this midfield, do things fundamentally change?
No, probably not.
Because it's about a lack of organization. To me, it's
You need
so.
at least one other one. You need at least one other.
If a team like Inter can play without a recognized ball winner, then the way that we think about it, I mean, like then it shows.
But listen, but listen. Aside from them being ball winners, they play with a totally different level of quality as far as tactics, positioning.
They're so much better organized than we are. It's
the
insane.
team is better organized, but also the players are better than the players that we have.
I mean,
it is a fact. If these guys listen, if you had to choose Ever Park, and they're all, you choose one, the other guy chooses one. If you have to choose between Barella and one of the midfielders at Milan, who are you choosing?
Okay, yeah, fine. Barella is one of their, but I'm saying, okay,
there you go.
But I'm saying,
Çalhanoğlu or one of the midfielders at Milan.
Yeah, but I was always a Çalhanoğlu fan. Yeah, so sure.
Well, it's Çalhanoğlu, so there you go.
Okay, but Mkhitaryan or Reinders?
I would go with Mkhitaryan, honestly.
Okay, come on now. I don't even. Come on.
Yeah, I would too.
I would go with Mkhitaryan.
I would too.
Oh my God, no! Reinders.
Mkhitaryan is just. He's
Why do all our players look so much better when they're not playing for us? That's the thing that gets me. Is like Reinders looks like so different when he plays for Holland. Like, why is that? Why do all our loaned players suddenly look so much better when they're no longer playing with us? Is it because they're like? It's because they have defined roles. CDK was garbage, and then he goes to Atalanta, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh well, no, it's just Atalanta. So then why does Salamakers go from everyone was laughing at him, and then in preseason everyone's like, oh no, he's good, like where like Motto was able to get something out of him. And just wait, you'll see.
I don't think anyone was laughing at him. I think a lot of people were actually pissed that Salamakers left.
In this channel, bro, we've been praising Salamakers.
The Milan fans I know all shit on Salamakers, so maybe it's. I'm pretty new to this group, so I don't know the lore of you guys. My bad.
We've been Salamakers.
I'm a pro Salamakers guy.
Fan since day one.
What I'm saying is that, like, just wait. You'll see Yassine Adli, and you're going to see Salamakers, and you're going to see Pobega. You're going to see all our lone players. They're going to play a lot better all of a sudden, and everyone's going to be confused as to why. It's because they have adequate coaching at those teams, and we have shit coaching at ours. And we've consistently, like, if you were going to take a risk, go for De Zerbi, go for Mata, but they didn't. They went for Fonseca. And remember, their first choice was Lopetegui. Like, Lopetegui was their first choice.
Yeah, but you gotta remember too. One other thing that these owners don't care about winning, bro. Winning means you gotta spend money. These guys are about the finances, and they've been pretty straightforward about that, about the financial thing for a long time.
I think Jerry wants to win, but I think he's incompetent and doesn't know what he's doing. That's what I think.
Yeah, in his head, he thinks that what he's doing is probably a winning.
Yeah, you don't fire Maldini if you don't think that you're going to like kick ass.
But he's incompetent because he doesn't know that fire Maldini does the complete opposite.
I think he has an ego on him, and he wanted to show that he's the man.
And remember, they didn't know that we had 7 Champions Leagues. Like, Roy will tell you, there was a few of us when this guy first bought Milan. Some of us knew right away what was going to happen. Like, there was no hesitation or anything like that. They've been straightforward since their first interviews on what their expectations actually are. Like, none of this is a surprise to me.
Question from the chat. Roy, if Inzaghi had to coach Milan right now, would we be better than Inter? Wow.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer this. I don't know,
because Inter's forwards are better than ours. Their defenders are better. Their midfield is definitely better. Like, player for player, Inter is head and shoulders a better team.
No, I think if you look at our their players, like, we've seen their players. Like, the way I look at it is, look at their players on an international level are trash.
Yes.
Our players
Look at
are
Barella. Look at
Thank you,
Barella for
thank you,
Italy.
thank you,
Look at
thank you.
Barella for Italy.
Wow.
Why does Barella trash for Italy?
No,
By the way,
Barella was a
Hell?
champion, a European champion, man. Barella
Okay,
was part.
that- when
Barella was
Roberto-
part of a record run.
when
36
Roberto
unbeaten
Mancini
run.
when Roberto Mancini had a well organized system, and then when that fell apart, what has Barella done?
What has
Well, Barella
Reinders
was
done?
one of the reasons
Hold on,
why
what has
he got a
Reinders
lot of
done?
success.
What has Leao done? And what has Teo done? Have they won?
Listen.
They
The
haven't.
players
Okay,
they
very few
have-
people win
Yeah.
international trophies, but they've performed a lot better.
But you just said that Barella wasn't the one, even though he's won an international.
No,
Wait,
no,
guys,
that's not
guys,
what
guys.
I said.
as a
Actually,
starter,
As a
What I-
starter, right?
One of
no,
the
I said the
important
difference is. I said the difference was that under Roberto Mancini, okay, that European run, they were a well coached, disciplined side.
Yeah, and there were other teams that were well coached and disciplined too.
Okay, but can you ever when was the last time you could describe our team as well coached? When was the last time you could say that?
The last year, Maldini, and the years before.
Okay, so what I'm saying is we've had poor coaching for the last 2 years. So to me, it's the only question would be, would our players fit the 3-5-2 that Inzaghi plays? That's
I
to
think
me-
I
I
think
think we do
yes,
have
but
players.
I
We
think
do have
I
players
think
for that.
quality wise they surpass us in player, but I think the difference here, it's not like if you ask me if I bring Inzaghi in, would Inzaghi change the situation at Milan? I don't know if I would be able
I
to
don't
say
think
yes
so.
to it. I don't think so.
so.
But if you
Because
ask
look,
me,
we pass up on Thuram. Even if Inzaghi was here, we're not getting Thuram. We're not.
Right,
we're
right,
not
but-
getting any of the players that they got this summer.
But the
Yeah.
question
Even
becomes,
if Inzaghi
but no.
Hold on,
Here's my question.
let me finish
Sorry.
the thing. Let me finish. Sorry, let me finish. But if, for example, Inzaghi comes in with our infrastructure, with Furlani, Moncada, Moneyball, blah, 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 I don't know if he can change anything. I don't know. I don't have that confidence. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. But if you ask me Sarri or Conte, I say yes. I am confident they can come in and definitely have the players play with seriousness. Inzaghi,
Sarri
for
was
some
there.
reason, I don't
What
know.
about De Zerbi? I mean, I think I think if De Zerbi came in, I think our team looks fundamentally different. Fundamentally.
That I agree, but to say that we'd be better than Inter, nah, it ain't happening, bro.
I'm sorry,
Their
Inter.
players,
I
their
don't.
players are just better than ours. If
No,
anything,
I think
the only player that we can definitively say that Inter doesn't really have that like that would be like Leao. But Leao is so
Teo's better than
inconsistent.
DeMarco. It's not even close.
I don't. That's debatable.
Yes.
No, wait,
That's
he's
the-
better,
What?
but it's not that far either.
It's,
No.
DeMarco gets to play as a wing back, and whenever you put him in a back four, he looks like a donkey.
Oh my
A
god.
donkey.
Thank you. I've been
But
saying that
he
for
is
the
a wing
longest
back. He
time.
is a wing back.
Okay, great, but you're thinking you put
What?
fine. My question is, you put Teo as a wing back. Do you think he does more or less?
I know. I think Theo's the number one,
No.
but I think DiMarco is probably in the top 5.
Sure, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay,
even
fine.
more.
But what I'm
Maybe
saying
more.
is what I'm saying is I think, like, again, if you look at all the players that most of the players that that Inter got, most Milan fans, when they purchased them, when they or got them for free, Milan
Yeah.
fans would have been making fun of them.
I
So
agree with that, but
Yes.
I also think that most Milan fans don't know anything about football.
Fine. I think that
Yeah.
Acerbi wouldn't have excited anybody if he came here. When he went to Inter,
True.
no one was when he was
No.
leaving Lazio for free, no one was crying about him going to Inter. They were
agree.
laughing at it. So and Mkhitaryan, I mean Hakan Çalhanoğlu, I mean
Yes.
again,
Mkhitaryan is a good signing. That's a good signing.
okay.
No, Mkhitaryan's he's old. When you think about, if you look at his profile,
Okay, but Ibrahimovic was old too when he came
Yeah.
to us, right? He changed the fucking
That's-
team.
that's
Ibrahimovic
was
is
old.
in a
Ibrahimovic
completely
and
different
Mkhitaryan,
planet
like,
than
what?
those players.
Right,
Completely
right,
different
but
planet.
the age is not a factor. Like if they're still professionals playing in Serie A level football,
I don't think if you put Mkhitaryan and Hakan
Mm.
Çalhanoğlu in our whatever you want to call it system, I think you would see
Yeah.
suddenly
no,
they
you need
would
Barella.
they
You
would
need
look
Barella
bad.
there.
Fine,
You
but what
need
I'm saying
Barella.
is like the Inter is relying on those two players, and like it just shows the difference of like the Inter looks so much more organized than we do, and I don't like the
Yeah.
idea that their team is in this completely different planet is crazy to me, crazy.
But listen, but it's not just listen. When we talk about the difference in players, sometimes it's marginal, sometimes it's not. But listen, it's just not just the players. It's the coach one, but it's also the infrastructure, the team, the management, the purpose, the
Yeah.
motives. What drives you? This is the most important thing. What drives you, and how serious are you about it?
Well, by
Wh-
losing Maldini, we lost a lot of that. And I think even Materazzi was saying, I remember like a couple months ago, he's like, we're not going to make the same mistake. When they were talking about like Oak Tree taking over, they're like, they're not going to make the same mistake as Milan, and they're not going to sell Maldini. And I think that says everything that you need to know.
Mm,
The culture that was instilled, and I think that Maldini actually was doing a lot of the work that a manager should be doing, right? Like Pioli didn't have that status with the players, and
yeah,
Fonseca definitely does it. So,
yeah,
I think Maldini was filling in gaps, and now that he's not
absolutely.
there, Fonseca's not a good man
And
manager.
and
Pioli, to his
listen,
credit, was.
yeah, yeah, totally agree. And also the other thing, under Elliot, Milan was being run to be a football club. Okay, when
Damn, what the?
when
They
Redbird
poured
came
money
in,
in. They
when
poured
Redbird
money
came,
in.
when comes in, now Milan is all about being a brand. It's all about doing collaborations with the Yankees, getting Pulisic to talk on Prime TV, morning shows. The It's completely different situation. The motives, the drive is different. It's not a football drive. Maldini is not necessary when your drive is not football. Maldini is necessary if your drive is football. But if your drive is branding and all this shit, that's what you're going to do. You're going to collaborate with people that live in that world, and that's what we're doing right now. And that's why we're not at the level of Inter, because Inter is treating their football club like a football club. We're treating our football club like a brand.
But the thing is, what's annoying about it is that in order to maximize the brand, you have to win. That's what pisses me off. And they like
Yeah,
so to me, I think that's why I think they want to win, but they don't know how. And worse
right.
yet, they think they know how and they're fucking wrong. That's the thing that's scary to me.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, Bastoni, best
Maldini
center back in
being
Italy,
punished
maybe,
showing
but
no
only in a back
Bastoni.
three. In a back four, Bastoni looks very different. So it's like again, like I think
Oh yeah,
players today
Bastoni,
are
right?
so
Bastoni.
system like I think players today are so system based, so system
yes.
dependent now more than any other time in our history. That's why strikers are absolute garbage now more than any other time we have no strikers. Like to me, I think like the difference between players being in back threes and back fours, like you can see the massive difference. Them moving
Yes.
from one tactic to another, like they are so dependent upon systems now more than ever before. Players might be more skilled today. I don't know if that's true, but like, they might be more skilled, but
No.
tactically they
I
are
wouldn't say
poorer.
that.
Okay, I'm just saying, I'm just putting that out there, like both sides of the
Yeah.
argument. But to me, I think players are so tactically poor and ignorant that they are dependent, wholly dependent upon being in a system that works for them. And if they are outside of it, they are they're nothing. It's crazy to me. So to me, I look at Inter and I have to give Inzaghi, and I don't even like calling him Inzaghi. I just call him Simone. But like, like because he's the like the second one. But the point
Yeah.
is that he's done a very good job. And but I think that if we had a manager at the same level as Simone Inzaghi, I think our team would look
But we're never gonna
dramatically
have
different.
that. We're never
But
gonna have
but
that.
we could have with someone like Deserbi. We could have had it with
Well,
someone like Motta. We could have had it with someone like Sarri.
But are those guys yes men? You got to remember, but we're talking about an American owner, not an American sports owner. Like Todd Bowley, you can tell he's enthusiastic about sports. These guys are not sports enthusiasts involved in this team.
No, 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 no. He is.
They
He's
want
just dumb.
they're not. They want a yes man. That is
I,
what they want.
they're
Those guys
trying to
that you
do they're
mentioned,
trying to do things like baseball where the general manager
yeah.
picks the thing and the coach is secondary. That's their problem. I think honestly, like they're like
All
in
right.
baseball, it makes
but
sense, but it's not working here. The tactics are
boy,
too important.
Can I
well,
reveal something, guys? Let me reveal this. I just checked it out. Simone Inzaghi is getting paid 6.5 million net. So
Okay.
that's why we don't have a Simone Inzaghi.
But Deserbi wouldn't and Sarri wouldn't have cost that much. If you want to say like we missed out on
Yes.
Conte, fine. But
yeah, but these are not
Deserbi
yes
and
men.
Sarri wouldn't have cost they wouldn't have cost too
Bro,
much.
they're not yes men. It's not going to be possible. I would 100% agree. These guys would be 10 times better. but they are not yes men. That is the point here. They're not
Right.
going to sit here and accept fucking bullshit. When they tell you that they need a CDM, the whole world knows we need a CDM. They're not going to sit here and say, "Oh, let's just go get another box-to-box midfielder. That should help things out." Bro, they don't. These guys don't want to be contested. That's just what it is.
You know what, guys? I mean, yeah, for sure that's what they wanted, the yes man. I agree with that. But I'm looking at Deserbi. Deserbi is making 1.5 million. So
Yeah,
they want to save
That's what I was
money.
saying. It's not about price. It's about whether or not you have a person who's compliant with what you say.
I think it looks. I think it shows that um, Jerry wants the attention. Dude, when we had Elliot, did we ever have pictures of our owners on our official social media? No. Jerry wants the spotlight. He wants to make sure that he's the center of attention. That's why he fired Maldini. That's my honest to God opinion. So for him, I think that he looks at. I don't like it. I'm kind of agreeing with you on the yes men. I don't think. I think it goes beyond just yes men. He wants to be. He wants to be Jerry Jones. For those who are like, I'm sorry, like a of like the owners
Yeah.
of the Dallas Cowboys. He wants to be like the winner and the guy who's at the center. Like that's his view, and he's wrong. So I mean, like, I don't know, man. I gotta go, guys. Actually, I'm very sorry. I
All
always
right.
appreciate you bringing me on.
Hey, no problem,
Um,
bro.
it's
Anytime.
great. It's great. Anyways, take care and have a great day, guys.
Have a good one, bro. Thanks.
Easy.
So Zanetti doesn't do the same job, but Inter's infrastructure has Marotta as the organizer, Ausilio as a market. Zanetti does have a role in the club more when it comes to. He does actually have, in a way, a similar job, but not as deep as Maldini. But Maldini, the reason why Maldini was perfect is because Maldini is automatically maybe the most respected man in football. Okay,
Yeah, 100%.
and that is not even about Milan. Milan. This is football in general. And we're not even talking about Europe. We're talking about the world. Okay, and plus, not only he is that person that has this huge aura that comes with him, but he's also a Milan legend. Like he understands the DNA better than anybody. His father was there, and this is what he wanted to do after he finished playing football. He wanted to get into this kind of career. So he had the propensity for that. So you have this combination of maybe what is the most respected man in football, in an environment, the Milan environment, who is transmitting these values to the players, the Milan values, and the players receive those values because they're receiving those values from a man that they wish they could have just a quarter of the success in their careers that he had. So the Maldini factor was a golden ticket. It was a golden ticket to the top, and it couldn't have been any more perfect than that. So
I
that's
mean, we
why
saw the
Maldini.
reaction of Thierry Henry when he got to meet Maldini. Like,
Yeah,
Thierry Henry is one of the greatest strikers to play this game. And he was
right,
like a child in front of Maldini. Like, that's insane. That's insane levels of respect to have.
right. Yeah. So imagine if Thierry Henry, a legend, is acting like that. What do you think Leao is acting like, or Theo is acting like, right? You understand? So yeah, Maldini was an asset that is just I don't know. It's like you had the golden ticket and you threw it away. You threw it away in the garbage.
Well, now we just have to live without him at this moment.
Yeah.
We know what the management is like. We just got to move on. I think you have to live in the present. He's now Maldini. He's a past memory. Maybe if they do sell the club one day, he might come back,
Hopefully, yeah.
but that's far and few between. So,
I hope so.
I mean, he was good, Maldini. I can't like he brought down our wage bill, put us in a financially stable position, but now he's gone. So, I
Well,
guess we just have to move on.
we really owe everything currently right now
Hmm.
with the team, the way, like, the players and things like that. This is all only possible because of the work that Maldini did. Like, if
Hmm.
these guys came in instead of Elliott, and didn't bring in Maldini, we would still
No.
be in the Benta era 100%.
Actually, the Elliott projections were way more long term than what actually turned out to be. Maldini not only achieved everything, but he achieved it fast. He got there fast,
Exactly. So
and
we
that
owe
was
everything right now. We owe everything to that work that was done.
listen. The world, the colleagues in the world, in that industry, they awarded him as best director, best manager of the year. His work didn't go unnoticed. And
Hmm.
if you pay attention, if you know what you're seeing, you can see it. And yeah, it's hard not to talk about it, Abdi, because when you had the golden ticket
Yeah.
in your hand and then you just lose it, it's hard to forget that, you know? So
It's like winning the lottery ticket, knowing that you won, and then you fucking throw it into the garbage disposal on accident.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. That's what it feels like. Yeah.
that's what it feels like.
Yeah, but now you just have to live without it. You you can't keep, having it as an excuse in your back pocket. You just have to move on. And who knows? Maybe Jerry and them might actually do well. You never know.
Um. Yeah. I
Well, it's
don't
been
know.
what it's.
I
We're
don't
going
know.
on year 3 with them, aren't we?
Uh,
And listen, this is the other thing, right?
yeah.
That I want to also mention this because I think it's important. That okay, Maldini was a big catalyst, but you also had
Mhm.
someone like Massara, who was an expert in Italy already, very well respected DS, so a lot of experience, and also the guy that was bridging Maldini and the ownership was Gazidis. Gazidis is a guy that has been in the world of football all his life. He's dealt with huge personalities all his life. He knows the world of football. He knows how to argue with Maldini. So that difference from Furlani to Gazidis, I think that was the killer blow right there. Furlani does not know how to argue with someone like Maldini. Furlani can only shut up and be quiet. So he can't do that. He's not qualified to be the CEO of the club when Maldini is the guy um, you have to, you have to convene to the owner. I think that had a big part in it too. Just Furlani not qualified for the job, and and it cost Maldini the job.
Yeah, he was set up for failure. Set up for failure.
Yeah, listen. As far as the future goes, I think, unfortunately, my opinion, and listen, I really hope I'm wrong. I really do.
Yeah.
Is that I think from what I saw, they fucked up the mercato. They didn't address the issues, and they didn't address the issues with the coach either. So I think it's pretty much a continuation of the same thing plus more mismanagements. That's what I'm reading. So I don't. I already see the season as being over. Honestly, I don't see us
What?
winning anything. But I really hope I'm wrong because I want to. I want to see Milan win. I want to see Milan win.
You've already written off the season.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro,
I
we
think
don't
so.
have a we don't have a
Oh.
we don't have a winner, a ball winner in midfield. Like, do you know the
Well, we
difference
shouldn't have
between?
to.
Bro, what do you like? We shouldn't need one, or what?
Look at Inter for an example. They don't really need ball winners, do they? Because they don't give up possession
Yeah,
willy
but
nilly.
Inter recovers, bro. There's always an offensive and defensive phase in the game. Inter, when they don't have the ball, they work their ass
They're a
off
unit.
to get the ball back, bro.
No,
We don't have the players to do that, bro. The players we just
no,
don't have that. We don't have that, bro.
yeah, yeah, I agree. But if you see Inter, when they're off the ball, they work as a unit and they become compact.
Mm.
And that's one thing that is really impressive in it's their ability to go from being compact to immediately being free flowing. So
Well, the
I
thing is
Damn
that
it.
Inter plays with three midfielders and three defenders, and that's what I'm saying that Milan should do in order to mitigate the fact that our ball winners are not very strong. So, what do you do to mitigate that? You just make the spaces smaller for your opponents. How do you make smaller spaces smaller? Density. That's it. So you have a line of four. When you defend, it's 5-4-1. and when you attack, you can bring up the wing backs. But essentially, defensively, you have to go up against five midfielders. And then once you go up against those five midfielders, then you have three defenders and you have the wing backs coming back. So the game becomes more defensively than offensive, but that's what wins you the fucking league. It's the goals, how many goals you concede, not how many goals you score. And I think if Milan changes to that, does exactly what Inter does, Milan maybe can even slip away with the Scudetto.
Yeah, okay, but then think about it. Then we're not utilizing our strongest feet, which is our wings.
Right.
Liao,
Yeah,
what's Liao gonna do?
You sacrifice him. Well, Leo, you can play as the
As
second
a support striker.
as a support striker.
Like in a 3-4-2-1, he would be good.
Yeah, yeah. In
Uh,
a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-1-2, he'd be as a support striker. The guys that you sacrifice are Pulisic, Chukwueze, Okafor, and those guys. You do sacrifice big players, yes, for sure. But you're going to score less goals, but you're going to concede less goals.
but
I mean,
Yeah,
No,
because we got to stop getting scored on. Like, as much as you want to play those guys, I mean, bro, we get scored on. Like, we really should have got scored on today. Like, that really, like, even though he got a second yellow and they called a foul, the dude won the ball. Like, in this soft game, if this game was not so soft as it is now, that's a perfectly good clearance that he made. Yeah, his follow through caught him, but it's really not a foul. Like it's not like he just barely toe poked the ball away. He got the ball, and he won that ball fair and square, regardless of the follow through. Like there was no maliciousness in it. It's just a follow through. We really should have got scored on today.
yeah, but for me, if you have a good midfield, it takes away the pressure from the defense. Like last season, the reason why we had so many defensive injuries was because Tamori and Kalulu and them, they had to do overtime, constantly having to run back, causing injuries. So I think if your midfield is good and solid, the defense will just become a byproduct. It will sort itself out for me, because then it will just come down to their individual brilliance.
Yeah, but again, we don't have the midfield with the actual IQ to do this. Like that's why we keep talking about the importance of Tonali and Kessie, because in terms of IQ off the ball, like the players are not bad players, but off the ball, they simply cannot compare to even one of Tonali or one of Kessie or one of Benacer before injuries. Okay. They just can't.
Yeah, but all of those guys were rubbish at one point. But they learned. So for me, it's on the manager to teach them that.
But I won't go as far as to say rubbish. And when we look at the time period in which the situation that we were in was also totally different as well too.
Well, but you see what I mean? Like, look, De Zerbi now, when he was at Brighton, did he have spectacular midfielders? No, but he was able to establish a playing style whereby he would play out from the back and have effective possession, not just possession like we have, where we just pass it to the goalkeeper constantly and there's no link between the midfield and the attack. You don't need world-class players to have that. Like, look, Rodri, before Pep Guardiola taught him, he was not anything special, but he learned. So for me, it's all about learning. Fonseca has to be a teacher sometimes and teach these players how to follow his system, which I don't understand. There's no way that Pioli and Fonseca are both having the same flaws. For me, then it relies on the players as well, because there's no way two different managers have come in and they're having the same issues.
I think that can be attributed to the fact that the management is getting involved in the style of play. Maybe that could be the answer.
I wouldn't think so, because you're telling me Forlani knows. You're telling me Forlani knows any tactics.
Yeah, that's the issue. But it looks like they want to build this offensive team that plays a high press, high offense, wins the ball.
Mm,
It's aggressive, high, and wins the ball and plays amazing football, entertains the
yeah,
crowds, wins the Champions League, becomes the greatest team ever. It's like they kind of imposed this kind of style on the coaches, and
but won't deliver on the players.
but what? Yeah, that's the thing. If you want to play like that, you got to get the players. Um, So
yeah.
it is a good question. Why are they both having the same issues? I think if I were to answer that question, I would attest it to that, to the fact that the management is getting involved in the style of play. Rather, the management should just shut the fuck up and let the coach figure it out. That's the way it should be done.
Well, I mean, me personally, I disagree with
And
that
also,
because,
sorry, Abdi. And
yeah,
there's also
yeah,
another thing, which is a problem, is that Milan last season spent 120 million building a team to play like that. So now they
hmm
have to commit to that. They're not gonna fucking now start to build a team that plays different kind of football. So they're gonna have to commit to that style. And you know what? The more I talk about it, the more that is the clear answer. It is the management and the direction they took with the players they bought that is forcing the coaches to play the team this way, and the team will keep on making the same mistakes. All right, go ahead.
well, I mean, to that, I mean, look, if they had got a decent right back, I think some of this would have been left off because when you see Emerson Royal, you see the way he defended against Lazio. It costed us 2 goals right off the bat. But imagine we didn't have that. And another problem is now, for me, we don't have a midfielder who's gonna you know, link the defense to the attack. For an example, Benacer, he was one. Yassine Adli was one. But the more and more I watch Fafana, the more I feel we've been robbed. I,
Whoa.
I'm,
Are you saying
I'm
Fafana's
not, I'm
on
not.
fraud alert?
Yes, I totally say that with chest as well.
Wow.
He, I haven't seen anything from him to suggest he is an upgrade to
Benacer.
Benacer.
No. He's
There's
definitely not an upgrade.
nothing.
There's
There,
no
there's
chance
not.
he's an upgrade. No chance he's an upgrade. He's 100% a downgrade to Benacer. No doubt about that. But is he a good player? That's the question. Like, so far, it's been hard to tell.
That's what I was saying. Like he has not been able to provide the coverage that people who are saying he's a DM need to. They have the burden to show proof, and he does not provide that type of coverage. He just doesn't do it.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean
It
he's a
doesn't
bad
seem like it to
player.
me.
It doesn't mean he's a bad player. It just means that's just not what he's actually supposed to do.
Right,
He's just
exactly.
another box to box
maybe.
midfielder.
That's what it looks like to me, yeah.
That's what exactly what it looks like.
Like today, I thought he was being cooked left and right, like all the time.
Oh yeah, he got turned inside out in the first half
My
badly
God. Oh,
twice.
my Lord.
It does
Like
give it a
if you
second
look,
minute.
like look at what Tonali was doing after 1 year of not playing a single game. Yes, Tonali was able to practice, but he hasn't played a single game all year. And look how he performs with the
Oh, my
national
God, dude.
team.
Oh, my God. His
Like
performance
like
from that was
the
crazy, man.
like these are the difference in levels that I'm talking about. Leao and Teo. This is why I keep talking about them. Their deficiencies are coming out because they do not have Tonali or Kessie to bail them out. That is why I'm saying the things I'm saying about them. Teo might be the best wingback going forward, but going forward is not our problem.
Right,
When
yeah.
it's when we don't have the ball, and you cannot justify Teo being the best when off the ball we are in fucking shambles.
Yeah.
Like if you want to say an attacking, he's the best attacking wingback. Cool,
No,
cool.
yeah,
You can say that
defensively
for
he's not the
sure.
best. Defensively he's not the best. I think what makes him the best is because he is offensively very effective.
And that's my point, and that's why I was saying it's debatable because DiMarco off the ball is better than Teo off the ball. But going
Ah,
forward, not going.
I don't know.
Forward,
I like Theo Hernandez off the ball, dude. I
I
think
don't.
he's a good.
I don't. I don't
think he's
think.
a really
No,
good.
no. In recovery, he's good. Just like Tomori in recovery, Tomori is good.
Yeah, he's not the best.
But when it comes to a stand up one on one, Teo loses out every single time.
No,
We just
nah,
yes he does.
I've seen that from him.
We overlook it because of his offensive contributions. But one on one, stand up one on one, Teo loses all the time. He does. He does.
I'm sorry, but I disagree. I disagree. What makes Theo so good
Is
is his
off the
ability
ball.
to go back and forth. No, is Theo is the way he goes back and forth, back and forth. It's not about his defensive one-on-one. One-on-one, for me, he is probably the best in the world, fullback wise. There's
No.
very few that I can think of. There's very few I can think of. He's
No.
strong in challenges. He's strong.
No,
Maybe
sorry.
the odd one
He
or two
gets
duels
beat
he would
all
lose.
the time. If Teo had Calabria speed, you guys would be singing a different tune right now. 100%.
If what?
If Teo had Calabria speed, they would be singing a different tune right now.
What do you mean?
Yeah, of course.
Slower? or
Because
faster?
in terms of like speed, if Teo wasn't super fast, the people would be singing a different tune because Teo has good recovery abilities. But whenever recovery is not enough and there's the space isn't there for him to recover, he gets beat all the time. We just overlook it because of what he does.
No, I don't overlook it. I don't overlook it. It's not really how
you don't judge him that way because that's
Yeah.
not what his purpose is.
Right, exactly.
But the problem is we keep getting fucking scored on a billion fucking times.
But
So for me, I don't care. I would much rather have a defensive fullback who will ensure that we don't get scored on 100 fucking billion times than to have Teo who makes a few good runs but we still get scored on 6 times.
But what if we just go to a back three and Teo plays as a wing back? Like that's what he's good at, being a wing back.
Then that's fine. But then we can have the conversation of him being the best wing back in the world. But Teo is only good going forward. He's not good on defense unless he has time to recover.
I mean, I don't necessarily agree. I think he is good. I don't think he is like Maldini good. You know?
No, I'm not, and I'm not saying I'm not comparing him to like Maldini levels. Like no, that's not what I'm doing.
Like off the ball, he's let's say a normal player. Right? Would you say that? For me,
you can go with normal.
Off the ball, he is what you need a player to be. Like,
God damn that nigga.
But on the ball, I think as a fullback, he is the number one.
Yeah, on the ball, that's fine.
And overall, but overall, as a
problem,
fullback, it makes him number one. I think. Like,
yeah.
If you listen, hold on. If you are building a team right now, and what fullback are you choosing for your left? Who are you choosing? Like today, let's say, hey, carte blanche, choose any fullback in the world. You're building a team.
This is what I'm saying, though. Like
who are you choosing?
Listen, I'm most likely I'm still gonna choose Teo, but it's not because I think anyone else is like better or worse. I mean,
there's good options. Alphonso Davies is one.
Alphonso Davies is the same thing. He gets beat all the time, but his recovery ability is the reason why he's able to do the things that he does. But the problem is the rest of the teammate that Alfonso plays with are all freaking top-notch players. Like, that's why I said Tonali is the reason why Teo got to do the things that he did and didn't have to worry about it. But now these guys are not here, so their deficiencies are being displayed on a grander stage. Like, that's just the side effect of it. Like, it sucks to hear. I love Teo. I want him to be the best. I want him to be
would you replace him? You would replace him? Is that what you're saying?
If I had the chance, I would. If I had the chance, I would get Udoji just because he has more defensive qualities about him. He might not be as good offensively,
Oh,
but
I think
defensively,
a real
I think he's
team.
better.
I think a real team has Theo Hernandez and Udoji.
Well, I agree with that as well too. But if we're talking about who's going to concede less, I think Udoji is going to concede less just because he's not as offensive as Teo. Not saying he's better than Teo.
You know, the thing is that
I
these
think he's just
players,
not going to be as
the
offensive, which is fine.
the issue that for me is that these players like Theo Hernandez, when they are the best, like being the best doesn't necessarily mean that you're the best all the time, but it means that you're going to have these moments that are going to elevate you. And these moments usually happen in big games or important games or, like big performances. And Theo will provide more of that than other fullbacks. And I think that's what makes the difference. That's why I would go with Theo Hernandez no matter what, even if he is maybe not the best defender. It's because I know he can give me special moments that make his value so high.
But that's the problem. I'm not saying Teo is bad or anything, but his deficiencies are being exposed because he does not have the guarantees that Tonali and Kessie provide him and Leao. So because they are not provided that, they need to work on the other aspects of the games that are lacking. And that aspect is when they don't have the ball and they're not able to be in a recovery
Wait, are you saying
situation.
they should do it on their own?
They need to. They need to do it on their own as well too. The coach cannot. Roy, you are a coach. You cannot pander to one or two players on the team. You have to go for the good of the entire team.
Well, listen, I'll tell you this. As a coach, I've noticed that there's some players that are just better at playing without the ball, and they know how to win the ball better. So you can.
And look, and if they
you have to motivate them. You have to motivate them.
Bro, you're at Milan, bro. Like what more motivation do you need other than the fact that you're at Milan?
But like, how do you practice tackling? Like, are you going to tackle like?
But that's the thing. Like, I don't care about it.
It's you have to just do it. You just have to do it.
Tackling isn't what I'm getting at. I'm talking about their defensive IQ off the ball. Like these guys are positionally blind. Like that's my problem. Like if Teo would be more secure when not on the ball, I would be fine. But the fact of the matter is, we concede so many goals, and again, a large part of that is because our midfield is not very good for sure. That is a very large component. But at the same time, like the guys got to do the work too.
Yeah,
like,
no,
you see
I
all
agree
the stories
that
about Messi. You see all the stories about Messi doing 100 free kicks after practice.
Right,
Ronaldo doing
I
100
agree
free kicks
that
after practice.
all players should do that. Yeah, no, I agree that all players should.
So exactly, like the coach can only do so much during practice. You got to work on the whole team in practice.
But
you can't
what
just
I'm
work
saying
on
is
two
this:
players.
as far as I think when it comes to when it comes to that part of the game, like you can improve it, but not that much.
Okay, but that's my whole point.
Like,
if we don't have the players for Teo and Leao to just fucking go off into Wonderland, they have got to adapt their game. They don't even attempt to do it. Like Khalid, he just brought up, the 2000 era. That's my whole freaking point. No one is like that now. There is not a single defender that is good, a wingback that is good one-on-one from a standstill like that. They're not like that anymore. So there aren't. No, there is not a single wingback that you can say here and say that, yeah, one-on-one, we just can't get past this guy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm 100% positive.
Wait, think about it. Let's think about it.
100%
Who do we
positive.
have in Italy?
One-on-one? Nah, I don't
Italy?
trust anybody one-on-one, bro. I really don't.
Okay, Milan, you have Calabria, Hernandez. So both of them are known to be beat. They're both not known to be in, top defenders. Let's put it that way. Juventus has, who do they have? They have Danilo. Maybe Danilo
Nah, bro.
is higher level than the other guys. Off the ball, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but a higher level doesn't mean that
Doesn't mean it's close to the standards we're talking about. I agree.
And that's why I'm lowering my standards for wingbacks. That's why I keep saying we need to get players who can actually assist the wingbacks whenever they are doing their thing. They should not be left alone ever, because I understand that they're not at that level. So I'm not going to hold them to that standard. So when I see but when I see Teo not fucking running back on defense, bruh, that shit is unacceptable to me, bro. I'm not gonna let that shit slide. I don't give a fuck how good he is going forward. I don't give a fuck, bro.
Nathan wants to punish Teo and Leao so badly.
Right. If you are sick and you live by yourself and you are able to physically get up and go to work, otherwise you don't pay your bills, you're gonna fucking get your ass up and go to fucking work. So why the fuck should Teo feel like, I just don't feel like running back on defense right now? Man, what the fuck? Nah, fuck that. That's ridiculous.
Are you talking about the specifics, this specific games?
I'm talking about his overall attitude.
Overall game? I mean, listen, I don't know. I think Theo Hernandez is actually one of the things that makes him really also one of the best is because he does sacrifice himself for the team. I mean, he does that with France. He did that with Milan. I get it. You think that they need to be, like they need to get their shit together, kind of thing, right?
And look, Teo will more than likely get his shit together. He'll still be ass off the ball, but he will get his shit together before Leao does. 100%.
Oh, okay, all right.
100%. Leao is Leao all year round, no matter what. He's been the same person since he's joined. He's not going to change. We've seen Teo mentally change, for sure. Leao has been a fucking child since he's fucking joined.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. I haven't seen Leao improve. I haven't seen him grow. I've seen Theo Hernandez grow. Maybe after he has children. I think when Theo Hernandez had the son, he seemed to be more responsible in general, the way he played. Maybe that could happen to Leao as well. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
All right, let's see what we got here in chat. It's not up to the players, it's up to the coach. We have seen Theo sit in a low block and defend amazing, even playing center back. So Khalid is do that. Do you think I'm pleased what I'm seeing? Of course not. But okay, what is Khalid saying? Khalid is creating some chaos here in the chat. You would say you should too. Don't compare stuff I don't have clue about. Where does it start? Let me see. People here need to be taught how to compare and complain. They compare Tonali, that did shit in almost 2 years, to Fofana, who've been in Milan in 1 month. For fuck's sake, wake the fuck up.
So to that message, I give you the exact same answer I gave to CDK when he first came. We are not in a position that we can wait. Our team is not deep enough that we can be in a situation where players get to have time. It does not work like that in our situation. You need to be able to do things right away. When we got Tonali the first year, we already had Kessie and Benacer who were already established and doing their thing. This allowed Tonali to learn and grow for that year at a proper rate. We do not have that situation. We also weren't in Champions League at that time either. So the whole thing was 100% different.
Yeah, that's completely true. Completely right.
It's the same.
And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, it's the same thing with CDK. When CDK first came, I told everyone what to expect I told you what was going to happen. I told you the reason why it was going to happen. And I told you he's not going to get time because we are not in a position to give time to anyone. I wish we were in that situation, but we're fucking not in that situation because we have incompetent owners. So you got to get your shit together.
Boom.
Like, that's just how it is, man. Like I'm like all this sugarcoating and fucking tiptoeing around just for the player's sake, bro. What the fuck? No. Especially when you have guys like Leao bitching and moaning and Teo and them wanting more money. Meanwhile, we concede 70 fucking goals in a year. What the fuck? You get if this was any other job, you would be fired for performances like that. So I hold these guys, and I'm not even holding them to unrealistic standards. I'm holding them to standards of the world outside of football. Like the bare minimum standards of holding your job in real life. Like
And
like,
couple that with the fact that with Milan, you do have to have super high standards. So
exactly.
it's even worse.
Exactly. Like if I went and worked, name a freaking top 10 company right now, Roy, just off the top of your head. Amazon. So if you're in charge of, let's say you're in charge of increasing revenues, and you get the worst revenues in the freaking in the history of Amazon, do you think you're keeping your job?
No.
Exactly. Milan conceded 70 fucking goals, or maybe even a little bit more than that last year. So why the fuck should I have to be fucking nice when players are not doing the basic functions?
Damn.
Like, nah, bro. Like, I'm holding these people to realistic standards. If you are not performing well, you need to work on it yourself. Like, am I really asking for too much? One hour after practice to work on things that you need to work on. Like Leao. Leao's been taking out satellites for fucking 4 years. Would it really kill him to just fucking put in a little extra fucking work to shoot the ball on target? Like, come on, man.
Well, yep. There you go. There you go. You got to demand excellence. Excellence is demanded at all time.
Bro, if we were Atalanta, no one here
No one
would be complaining about
No one
anything.
would be. We'd be celebrated.
We would be if we were
this was Atalanta,
we'd
we would be celebrated. We'd
exactly.
be like, yeah, let's go. Ole, 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 ole.
Exactly.
But this is Milan. It's completely different.
Exactly. So when I see players who, even if they have a bad game, they freaking bleed for the team, that's cool. But when you have a bad game and you're just being lazy, like Teo isn't as acceptable to being lazy, even if he has a bad game. But I'm not. The reason why I'm being so hard on him right now is because I know what his levels are, and if you allow him to slip into those bad habits, you're going to have an even bigger problem. Which is why I was okay with Fonseca punishing them early on, because I don't want them to slip into bad habits. But Teo isn't always acceptable to that, but you shouldn't allow it to even get a sniff of it. So I was fine with that. We know Leao has a big problem with being fucking lazy and having bad games. We know this.
You got to give him the spotlight. Leao likes the spotlight. He likes the Champions League nights. He wants to be in the show with Katie Abdul and Henry and Carragher. That's what he wants. So that's when we're going to see him. So here, Khalid says, the question is, what's going to make us diehard Milan fan, Maldini Kaká area happy with those players coach this year? Second place in quarterfinal Champions League. So are you saying what is going to satisfy you? I don't understand the question.
He's saying for the diehard fans from the Maldini and Kaká
Okay, era.
era. For those of us who were were around for that time, what would make us happy? And he said second place or maybe like a quarterfinals in the Champions League.
Oh,
To be honest, nothing will make me happy. Like, this is just me personally speaking. Like, I can speak for nobody else. The only thing that would make me happy is if Redbird leaves. Because these guys are literally the worst possible thing that could have happened to this club.
yeah, yeah. I'm with
Like,
that.
I
I'm
don't
there, yeah.
care. Like, I don't care if we even win like the Scudetto. Like, I don't like, these guys have got to go. Like, the disrespect, not only the disrespect to like Maldini, but like he disrespects the fans. Like, you bought a club and you don't even know how many Champions Leagues. Like, bro, you're disrespecting the fans. Like, if I went to your house and I slapped you in the face and sat down and said, "Make me a sandwich, bitch," you would take that shit? Like, nah, bro. It's too much disrespect for me. Like, they gotta go.
Yeah, I second that. The management has to go because they're not running Milan the way Milan should be run, and honestly, not second place or quarterfinals will make me happy. What will make me happy is knowing that the club is being run by people that love Milan, that are doing things for the right reason, that are building Milan for the way Milan should be built, and that they're treating Milan the way Milan should be treated. And if I see someone that is doing that, plus I know that they have the competency to do that, I'll be happy. Because we spoke about this last night. Even with Fassone and Mirabelli, they tried. They were trying to do the things the right way, but they just didn't have, they don't have it. They don't have the it factor. So what will make me happy is a situation like when we had Maldini, Massara, Gazidis, or when we had Berlusconi, Braida, Galliani. Situations like Fassone, Mirabelli don't make me very happy. Situations like Furlani, Moncada, Jerry don't make me very happy.
Like, imagine if we had, for a second, imagine if we had Todd Bowley, Chelsea's owners, as the Milan owners, and he was spending all that money, but we still had Maldini in charge of how that money was being
Oh
spent.
my Lord!
Just think of this: we would still have Donnarumma, we would still have Kessie, we would still have Tonali,
Çalhanoğlu.
we would still have Çalhanoğlu. Like, just think of the team that we could have, and then on
We
top
would
of
have
that,
Messi, dude. He
and
wanted
then
to
on
get
top of that-
Messi, bro.
and
He
then on
wanted to
top of
bring
that,
Messi.
we would have a top quality coach because we could afford to pay them. Like, these are the things, like, man, you need a person who loves sports. If you got a person who doesn't love sports, bro, it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster.
Yeah. That's the other thing. You need someone that is mad in love with sports and also with football in general. Like, you have to be a football fanatic. You cannot do this job successfully if you're not a football fanatic.
Exactly.
And this guy, unfortunately, let me be respectful. Jerry Cardinale is someone that in 50 years didn't even know what Milan was. Even while he was working in football, as he owned a club in France, Jerry Cardinale never did research on the teams in Europe, on who has the most Champions League, what this means or that means. The fact that Jerry Cardinale, after 1 year of working with AC Milan, guys, this is the craziest thing out of all of them. After 1 year of working with AC Milan, he fires Maldini. He owned Milan for 1 year. Then he fired Maldini. Then, in a seminar, he says, I was so surprised that when I fired a director, the fans got so riled up. That really surprised me. So that means that even while he was running the team, he never even informed himself about what Maldini, for example, would represent to the fans and the history of the club and just his general knowledge. Like, he has no interest in learning about the game, about the traditions, the values, the culture. What he is interested in is in the world of finances. That's his passion. That's what he is a fanatic of. He is fanatic of that world, which I think he's probably good at because he's running a billion-dollar company. So that's what he knows. That's what he loves, and that's what he's using Milan to do. To do that, not to
Yeah.
win trophies.
So Fahadino asked me a question: is it Liao's responsibility or the coach that needs to work on his skills? Um, it's technically it's both of them because in practice, I'm sure they do shooting drills in practice, so they should go over technique and things like that. But Liao, especially with the finishing that we've seen, especially with the finishing that we know he's actually capable of doing, he needs to take it upon himself to spend another 30 minutes to an hour training himself on how to shoot better. Like simple things like that can be done by the player as well. I mean, yes, the coach has responsibility as well too, but at that level as a coach, you shouldn't be teaching people the proper way to shoot a ball. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't at that level. You shouldn't have to teach a player how to properly control a ball.
Well, usually at that level, players have already very developed
And
ways,
that's my
then
point.
they need to just sharpen them. It's just
That's
about
my
sharpening them.
that's my point. At that level, the coach is going over tactics. They're going over drills. They're not going over how to shoot or how to pass or how to look before you
I
receive a
mean, you
ball.
you do shooting drills. You do
No, no,
shooting
no,
drills.
no, no. I'm saying that's why I said they do drills. I'm saying they don't teach you how to
Oh,
shoot.
right, right. Okay, yeah.
Like they don't teach you how to look before you receive the ball to see if there's an opponent left or right of you. They don't need to teach you that because you should already have that. So at that point, they're just doing the drills and situational uh, things that might happen during the game. So as a player, you need to take the time to work on the things that you need to work on your own time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what a lot of players do. That's how, if you want to get better technically, that's what you have to do. You have to put in your own time and you have to dedicate your own time into it and do reps, millions of reps daily, rhythm and reps. It's the only way to get better. You work with a coach, not that much. The coach is not just paying attention to you. The coach has to pay attention to everybody. So it's not like the coach can identify. The coach can get his team, his staff team to say, okay, get this player, work on this player. He needs to do this. But if you want to become a great player, it's up to you. You have to do it. You have to put in the work.
Right.
That's yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I do agree. They disrespected the Milan logo. What is this fucking Yankee shit, bro? This New York Yankee shit in our fucking logo. Like, bro, what the fuck? Like, anyone who can sit here and say that they're okay with this, bruh, bruh, what am I
Bruh.
even seeing? Like the fucking Yankees, a team that hasn't won shit in how fucking long?
They haven't won?
Bro, the Yankees haven't won shit in a long time, bro.
Well, they won in 05.
Yeah, 20 fucking years, bro.
I think 05.
20 years.
I was literally right next to the stadium when they won. It was outside of the stadium. Anyway, all right, listen. Crazy. I cannot believe that today we won 4-0, but today's stream was as if we lost the Champions League final. It must mean that things are really, really, really bad. But even when
Like,
you win 4-0, here we are fucking like, dude, what the fuck is going on with this, with that, and the other?
and look, we are glad we won, but against a team like that, we allow them to just waltz through the middle of the field. Like, these are the same points we brought up last year when people were celebrating the Scudetto after game number 3.
Game number one,
Meanwhile,
bro.
after
Number
game, yeah,
one.
even after game 1,
They
and
were celebrating.
the teams were just walking through our midfield having a fucking picnic.
Do you remember the Furlani cooking memes?
Yeah, I remember that
People were
dumb
putting
shit.
on Furlani cooking, Moncada, blah 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 blah. These guys, dude, they're falling for it. I can't believe it. The team was like open, man. It was like the open Moses, opening the parting the waters.
Exactly. So like all we're doing is we're pointing out that yes, we won. And imagine that. Last year we were at least winning in the beginning and we were pointing out those problems. At least we were winning in the beginning. Up until the Inter game, we were winning each of those games. Look at how we started this year. Like, bruh, like yes, we're happy we won, but you have to take a step back,
I'm not
take
happy we
off
won.
take off the Milan bifocals, and look at the game itself, not the result. Look at the game itself, and you will not be happy with the game itself.
Yeah, that's right. And listen, I'm not even happy with the result today. I'm indifferent about it. I'm actually really frustrated today. I'll be honest with you because I don't see a way back from what I saw today. How long do you guys think Redshit and Jerry the Clown be in Milan? When and how he gonna leave this beloved club?
Man,
I don't know.
see,
The
this is the thing.
stadium.
It's like a double-edged sword, to be honest, because if let's say they get the stadium, they start having Taylor Swift and fucking Beyonce perform every fucking 3 days, and they're making a shit ton of money. Would they really want to sell that type of asset that's bringing in that much money?
Yeah, like right now they're winning. They're definitely winning. Like
You,
they are winning.
like, you know what I mean? Like if something's bringing, it's like if you were starting a business that was passively making you money, would you really sell that business?
Yeah, unless the offer is
Right, unless the offer is just too crazy.
right. The profit,
So
if the profit margins are what they're looking at or what they projected, and someone gives them those kind of profit margins, then they're going to sell. You know, they're
so
not going to risk it.
like the only thing I could think of is if the team, like we're very fortunate right now that Napoli and Juventus, Roma, Lazio, we're lucky that these teams are not like firing on all cylinders. With the way that our team is made up, like the player selections that we bought, we are lucky that these teams are not firing on all cylinders. If man, I mean, because even then it wouldn't matter because we'd still be making a profit. Yeah, I really don't know what it would take,
Listen,
honestly.
listen.
I really
Right
don't know.
now, we got to be really honest with what's going on. Right now, the management, but not the management, the ownership right now is winning. Winning, meaning the balance sheets are good, the money coming in is good. The only issue for them is that they have this huge debt that they have to pay coming up, and the deadline is getting closer. And they had a huge investor leave them. So they had the pharmaceutical company that was going to put in 250 million to cover for the vendor loan, and they pulled out. So there is some discrepancy there when it comes to looking for the money. Right now, they're talking about doing the stadium with Inter because it's going to cost less money. So there are obviously conversations of not enough money being there to do what they really want. So there is openings for sales, but I wouldn't be so glee about an upcoming sale anytime soon. But there
Yeah,
are openings.
yeah, and man, I think we got pretty lucky that we didn't sell Teo or Mike or Liao. Although
Well,
I don't think we even had any offers for them, to be honest.
yeah, not
But
yet.
I
Not
think
yet.
I think like next summer, if we get offers, like real meaningful offers for those guys, we're gonna lose them.
Yeah, because look, I have this feeling, man. This is another issue. that we didn't speak about today. Theo Hernandez, he had that press conference after the national team, whatever expedition or wherever he was with the national team. He had a press conference. He said he wasn't sure whether or not he wanted to resign with Milan. He didn't give Milan any signs that it was a for sure. They haven't renewed yet. Usually, the common practice is you want to renew these players 2 years before the end of the contract. Usually, when
Right.
it goes over that second year, things start to get a little bit more difficult. And it looks like we have gone over that threshold. So now we are in the negative. Let's say if we want to look at it that way,
Yeah.
with both Mike Mañana and Theo Hernandez. So
And we won't be able to command as big a fee if we were going to sell them, because
Yeah.
they just got to wait one more year, and then
right. So
they go for free. So
and you know how it is. A lot of times they say market starts blah blah blah. There are probably already people talking to Theo Lau. Hey, wait another year. They're going to come with a big offer. And
yeah,
it's going to, so.
yep.
Now, if these guys were super motivated to stay at Milan, then maybe it'd be a different story. But we're not seeing that. We're seeing these guys getting actually crucified. We're seeing them. We seeing Theo saying he doesn't know whether he wants to renew. Mike Magnan, it looks like those talks are a little bit more positive.
And look, look, for all the criticism I've been giving Liao and Teo over their mentality, I will say their mentality is this way because of the way they treated Maldini. Because when Maldini was here, even if we had bad periods, these guys you can see that they loved Milan. You can see it. And as soon as Maldini's gone, man, you can see it in their eyes that this is not the same.
Yeah. Ollie asked, by the way, my previous question was missed. Who do you start on Tuesday, Tammy or Morata? Tammy Abraham probably, no?
Yeah, I'd go with Tammy as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Morata as a super sub.
Yeah. Morata still, I think, is not fit enough to start the game as well.
Faladino says, I have a feeling that the rumors about Maldini and the Saudis by Milan is true. Wow.
Hopefully.
Today's win went through with high hopes and a lot of prayers. All right, listen, Nathan, I'm going to close because I got some stuff to do now. So it was a fun podcast today. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining, everybody in chat. Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you click the like button. Forza Milan, click that like button if you want to change in ownership. And we will see you in the next live. So stay tuned. Peace out and ciao. Prediction for Tuesday. I want Milan to win. I need Milan to beat Liverpool. I can't see Liverpool beat Milan. I do not want to see Liverpool beat Milan. I need to see Milan beat Liverpool. Even they have to beat them. Period. All right, have a good day, guys. Peace out. Bye.